So this is Sushobit with 10 plus years of experience in automation. So I'll be your trainer and instructor throughout the session, friends. Okay, so let me talk about myself, then I'll talk about edureka, then I'll get back to you. I just wanted to know about you, your experience and everything. Okay, so I'm having a complete, like, whatever experience so far I have in my career is on automation. It was not only in web, it was in mainframe automation, XML based automation, API based automation, web services, desktop based application, image recognition, and definitely a rich experience in RFT and Selenium as well. Okay, for UI based automation. So far I am working in Selenium for almost like more than 4+ years. Okay, that's what my experience is. So, and let me get back to the edureka, that so how we are going to communicate, how we are going to I'll be instructing you and giving you the session is through this virtual platform. So the only thing what we have here is this chat window. So this is going to help us, and I'll be asking you a few questions, and if you have any queries, you can ping me in the chat window. I'll be getting back to you. And in case in between, if you feel like you want to share something, so I can unmute you, you can say something in the class as well. So there is no restriction that I'm the only one who's speaking. Even you can also say, you can put up your points if you want. Even the things are not clear, you can come up with your, I can unmute you, you can say the things. Okay, so that's it. I think that was a very good overview of the edureka, and here I think we guys are here for Selenium course. So before I start with anything, okay, I just wanted to know about you. So what are the things I need? So far, what is your experience? What is your background? Like, if you are from database, are you from Java? Are you from testing? Are you from manual testing? So you are from data analytics. What your background was, what's your experience, and from where you have joined, and the reason of joining the course is very important for me. Okay, so the first three things what I have asked is important for me and is for other students as well, so that you guys can know each other. Okay, and the last one what I have asked you, why you have come and why you have joined the session, is for myself, so that I can understand you. Getting my point? So Aruna, Raghav, Sandeep, Lakshmi, can you guys please start putting up in the question window? What's your experience, from where you have joined? What's your background, and what's the reason of joining the course? Aruna from Mumbai, manual testing. What's your experience, friend Aruna? Arun? Quickly, friends. So I just wanted to finish this thing in a few minutes rather than spending a huge amount of time on the introduction. Please ping me about your details quickly so that we can proceed. Raghav, Sandeep, Lakshmi. Aruna having 3 years of experience in manual testing sounds good. So as far as any, do you have any idea about automation before, Arun? Raghav, Sandeep, so far I can see only Arun has pinged me, no one yet. Lakshmi, no. Okay, fine. So that's great. Okay, no need to worry. I'll be here, and you'll be getting something. Take away from the course is going to be very good. Okay, 1 second. Let me maximize this. Okay, I'm from manual testing background. 1 second. Let me move this aside. 1 second, friends, because the question is so you. Reason to join the course is to understand automation testing and in and out of Selenium. Perfect, Arun. 3 years of experience. Sandeep. Hi, Sushobit. This is Sandeep. I'm having 4 years of experience in mainframe app development. Okay. And I'm joining from US Connecticut and wanted to learn Selenium automation. That's good. Raghav, I'm having 7 years of experience as a QA working as web services automation QA at eBay. Oh, great, Raghav. So you'll be coming up with many things, right? So far, because you have been into automation before, so it will be good to interact with it. No experience, want to learn automation testing, looking for a job in automation testing. Lakshmi, I'll make you an expert in automation, so don't worry. Okay, this was your reason, right? So I'll make you an expert in Java. No, sorry, along with one of the language and automation. Raghav wanted to learn UI automation and implement framework at my project. Okay, that's good. That's part of the course, so that's good. If you could explain interview questions too, it will be really helpful. Yes, Lakshmi. So during the course, I'll be telling up if this is your, see that's what my reason was, to understand. Now I can see the things what I have just now read out in 5 minutes. You guys have known each other, right? This makes a good environment so that we know each other. Okay, and now my intention is also clear, like your intention is clear and my intention is also more clear, like how far I have to go, how deep I have to make you understand, because I need to understand what you guys are and what the background is. Okay, thanks for giving you a quick introduction. So let me start the session. Okay, and before I start, let me first take you through the edureka portal and then I'll continue with the course. Fine. Can I get a quick smiley for this so that Lakshmi, Raghav, before we start? Thank you, everyone. Fine. So you guys can see my screen. So far, you guys have received the credentials, right? From edureka. You guys have access to the portal, to LMS, Learning Management System. Everyone is having an access. Have you guys received the credentials from edureka to access this portal? Perfect. Thanks, Sandeep. So once you log in your portal, if there is anyone, please let me know. Okay. So once you will log into your portal, edureka portal, you can see there is a link called courses. You can click on it. You will see my courses. I'll tell you about the course and everything. So today is day one. So I want to make you understand, because it's a portal. First, you need to understand how this portal is helpful for you. Then we'll start with the course. Okay. And if you have registered for the course testing with Selenium Webdriver, you will get this view here. And see, I'm a trainer, so for me the view is different. For you it will be different, but definitely something will get testing with Selenium Webdriver. You can click go to courses and your LMS will come. So when I say LMS, it's a learning management system. Okay. When I say LMS, it's a learning management system. So here you can see 3 tabs. Okay. So first tab is getting started. This tab actually tells you about all the hardware and software requirement you need. Okay, all the steps it will tell you how to configure Selenium for Mac, for Windows users, for even for Linux also the configuration is there. And there are few advanced automation we have talked about in the course, that is Selenium and Auto IT. We'll talk about this in the later, but for that all the documentations are here. So this tab is about the installation. And if you want to understand the learning management system, how this portal works, if you are new to it, this link, this PPT will help you. Okay, so you won't get an access to download it, but yes, if you will click on it, I'll do it once again for you. Under getting started, you will find guide your learning management system. So there is a PPT. Let it open. This PPT will take you through all, it will show you a list of screenshots. You can go through all the screenshots and you can see how exactly it's working. The same thing what I have told you is here also. You can log in, then you can enter your credentials, go to courses, my courses. Then if you have registered for any whichever course you have registered, you will see in your screen. Okay, and then click on go to course. Once you will click on go to course, you will get 3 tabs here. So we are here. We are on the first tab, getting started. Okay. In this way, you will understand what is software and hardware requirements are. So in this way, there are many other things as well. So even if I'll be telling you now only, I'm not going with this PPT because I won't be able to show you then if I'll go through the screenshot. I want to show you practically. Okay, but you can always you can always fall back to this PPT to understand how things are working in this LMS. Once you are familiar with it, then it's easy for you. Okay, because there are many options here to raise a ticket, to get the issues resolved, to raise a query, to join a blog. There are many things as well. Okay, so soon you will learn, not in a day one you will learn all the things, but yes, I'll tell you each and everything today. So your task is to just go through it once again so that you become familiar with it. Fine. Here you have something about Selenium, what it is. Okay, like it's a practical lab machine and all those things. It's a virtual platform, so it's just a short description. And in the second tab, you will get few recordings of the previous session so far, what has been covered in edureka. So it's not the first session. There have many sessions. I think 100 plus sessions has been covered in edureka. So this is one of the recordings has been shared with you, so that if you want to learn something good, what you can do, you can go through the recordings and come back to the class if you have time. Okay, so you can refer the previous recordings to understand how things are working, and definitely you can continue with your recordings as well. Okay, so this is just for your reference. Now this is the main part where we have to do something. So this is something related to our learning process called course content. Here we have 8 modules. Okay, all the 8 modules we'll be covering, and that is a part of your course. I'll talk about Java Essentials and installation guide. Just give me a few minutes. But the important thing is that so far, whatever things we are going to cover in as part of our course is going to be these 8 modules. Okay. And what this Java Essentials for testing is, what is installation guide, I'll come back to this point. Okay. So let's start with module 1. And okay, fine. Before that, there is one more important point that I want to share with you guys is, I just have to move my chat window aside. Lakshmi said, no, I didn't receive credentials. Lakshmi, you should have asked them, right? If you have not received, when I'll give you a break for 5 or 10 minutes, in that you can drop a mail or call them and tell them to give it to you. So it's not a problem. Today is day 1. Today we have to start with an introduction part of Selenium. But yes, when we are about to complete today's session, I'll show you how to configure Selenium. Okay, so please get an access, because you have to get in recordings and everything will be uploaded here. Okay, so please drop a mail to get it quickly without getting it delayed. Okay. Sure, you just have to drop a mail. So what you can do, whosoever the person is, you can just call him back and get the credentials for you. Okay, fine. Let me get back to the LMS. So here, once you will come here, you will find an option called support. So this is going to be a very, very important thing. If I'll click on support, here you can select your course, and you can select what the issue is about, whether it is related to LMS, you have an issue related to installation, you have an issue related to project or general discussion, some technical issue, some non-technical issue, you can select and you can raise your query. Within 24 hours, your issue will be resolved. So there is a dedicated team sitting there, they'll get back to you quickly resolving your issues. Okay, so you need to post a ticket, log a ticket. And once your whatever recordings you can see here, means whatever discussion we'll have today, that recording will be uploaded within module 1. Like if we'll complete today module 1, your recording tomorrow, if you'll see, within 24 hours or within I think 10 to 15 hours, your recording will be uploaded under your module 1. And you will find presentations, quizzes, few files related to configuring Selenium, and assignments, and some pre-work related to module 2. So once we'll complete any module, your recordings will be uploaded in the same module under this tab. Then after that, what you need to do, you can go through the PPT, revise the recordings, and try to solve assignments on time. If you will do any delay, definitely you will lag behind. Okay, so this course is not a small course. If I'll show you all the 8 modules, just now I'll tell you what it is, what the modules we are covering, because we are covering from basic to a very higher level. When I say very higher level, that means actually it is a very higher level of automation. Okay, so it's not only about UI automation, it's about many things, what all things you can do it. So if you have joined to a course, you have to be very serious. It's not that you have just joined and coming and just listening to what I'm saying, because I don't prefer things in that way. Soon you will realize it. So I'll be asking you the questions and you have to get back to me. Okay, so I won't proceed unless and until you answer me you answer my queries. Okay. So this is something about the portal. I think it was sufficient enough to make you guys understand that what exactly the portal is, and what I'm expecting from you. See, I just now received from some expectations from you that why you want to join the session. So now what my expectation is, I want you guys to ask as many questions you can ask, as many questions you can ask. Okay, so if you won't ask, I'll be poking you and asking you the questions. Can you please come up with a question? So the more questions you will ask, the more learning will be there. You have to complete the things on time. Fine, it makes sense. So can we start now? Can I get a quick yes from everyone? Sandeep, Arun, Lakshmi, Raghav. So far it has been fine. The LMS is clear to you guys. Perfect. So you need to click on module 1, click on presentation, and let's start with modules. So what all the things we are going to cover in this course? Okay, that is important. So okay, before I start, let me tell you one more thing, that as we already know that this is going to be an online class, so you will be taking the class, I'll be taking the class from my center, and you will be attending the class from your home or office, from wherever you want to do. Class recording will be uploaded on the LMS, and the best part of the course is that you will get 24/7 support. So you don't have to worry. If you are coming across any issue or anything, the support team will reach out to you within 24 hours. Okay, module wise quiz is also there, so you need to solve the quiz also. Okay, it has been built from, the data has been collected from very good people, and it is, the question level is also very good. If you will try to solve those questions, you will actually feel that you are doing something good, because the level is not so easy, it's difficult. Okay, so try to solve the questions that will tell you how far you have reached in the course, how far you have reached in the automation. And once the course gets completed, you need to submit a project, and you will be awarded a certificate. Okay, so edureka is known in the market. It's not only in India, it's not only in US, around the world edureka is known. Okay, so if you say that you have been certified from edureka, that means you will get some weightage. Okay, that makes sense. So yes, so let's talk about the modules that we are going to cover here. Okay, this is important, because today's session, friends, I'll tell you that today's session, the way I have designed, after completing module 1, you will be aware of everything, what you are going to study till module 8. I can say till 70%. Okay, that's what my aim is, so that you should have a mindset that what you are going to study in the coming modules, and what exactly automation is, and what is Selenium, and why you should go with Selenium. Okay, that's what we are going to talk about in module 1. Then in module 2, we'll start with Selenium RC, that is one of the component, and we'll internally get into the architecture of Selenium and understand how exactly Selenium works, and then we'll see how to interact with web elements using locator techniques. Then in module 3, we'll start with Selenium Webdriver, that is an advanced form of Selenium. We'll see what is WebDriver for each of the browsers, and few advanced features of WebDriver as well. Then we'll see how can we validate the fields, how can we validate the data, and there are huge list of validations: checkbox, data, web page. Okay, uh, fields are present or not, read only, disable, how to take screenshots, all those things we'll discuss in validations, whether the data I'm looking for is present on the screen or not. Then we'll see how to design a framework: keyword driven, data driven, and hybrid. Then in module 5, we'll talk about, again, so far we have covered Selenium, but there are huge list we have. Then there is again an advanced form of Selenium WebDriver that also we'll cover, along with Selenium IDE. Okay, Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin, but it's an automation tool, and a very powerful automation tool. Then in module 6, I'll talk about few programming techniques that you can do, but I should say from today itself, we'll start with the programming techniques, but there is few logical things that you need to understand when you are designing a framework. Okay, so I'll tell you what it is. We'll see how to generate reports, and in module 7, we'll again see a much higher version of Selenium, that is Selenium Grid. Securely, this is used for remote execution, parallel execution. Securely is used to automate the web applications or anything using image recognition. TestNG and JUnits will be discussed here also. So for that, we'll see how to do unit testing. So from day one, or no, I should say from tomorrow, I'll be starting with unit testing. So everything, whatever examples we'll see today or in the modules, we'll do using unit testing, because that is important. So if you consider yourself as an automation tester, it is expected that you should be a very good unit tester as well. Okay, without unit testing, without knowing JUnit and TestNG, something is missing in it. Okay, so we are covering that also, and there is a small part of auto IT that we'll discuss at the end. Okay, so we are covering a very small part of it. It is also again an automation tool used to automate web applications or any GUI application interaction with your local system. And in module 8 we'll talk about the project once again. So module 8 is going to be very interesting. Okay, so far the things were clear to everyone. Okay, hi Sarita, good morning. So Sarita, can you please give your quick introduction before we start? Sarita is recently she has joined. So Sandeep, Raghav, any doubt you have in the course? Sounds good, or you feel like it's many things has been covered? So friends, here it's not only about only learning Selenium. There are many things that you need to understand. Okay, so the course is covering end to end each and every part of it. So today I'll start with module 1, and before I start, let me tell you what this module is. This module is going to talk about manual testing, automation testing. I accept this is going to be a little bit theoretical, but from day 2, I don't think so that you will get a time to think about. You have to go with me, because the speed is going to increase very fast. I won't go too fast, but the thing is that if you won't go with me, you will lag somewhere behind. Okay, you will keep on thinking that okay, I'll do it today, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, okay, I'll do it day after tomorrow, then the things will keep on lagging. So it's better you go with me. Whatever things I'm covering, you have 5 days of time, sufficient 5 days of time, you can cover the things. Okay, so if you'll go in this way, and if you go whatever course or whatever time it has been given to us, it's going to be very interesting, and definitely the takeaway from the course is going to be very good. Okay, so let's start with Sarita. Okay, can you tell me like what's your experiences and what's your background? Means, are you from DB? Are you from man testing, QA, Java development? So, and what's your expectation from the course? So Sarita, she's from USA. So far I have known this much. Okay, I am a QA analyst. Perfect. Fine. So let's start. See, when I talk about manual testing, okay, when I talk about any testing, okay, let's not say manual testing. When we say Raghav says, can we integrate Selenium with ALM? Yes, you can do it, friend. But for that you need to need third-party APIs, and you should make sure that the ALM is providing support to Selenium or not. Okay, that is important, because Selenium is not a tool. Okay, I'll come back to this line when I say Selenium is not a tool. Okay, there are many things to talk about Selenium, but yes, you can do it. Fine, Raghav. But for that you need to put an extra effort. You need to make sure that the ALM is providing support with Selenium or not. Fine. I think I've answered the question, Raghav. Perfect. Sarita, I had 11 years of experience in IT. Okay, perfect, Sarita. Sounds good. Okay. So thanks, Raghav, for the question. So when I talk about testing, friends, what exactly it is? Okay. So like you need to sit on a system. Okay, if I'll tell you to test any web application, if I'll tell you to test any database, if I'll tell you to test any mainframe application. So if you are not using automation, then what you are ending up with, you need to sit on a system, you need to test your application manually, you have to be physically present in front of the system to test it, and you will be ending up with many scenarios. Okay, it can be the same thing what you have done yesterday might be you will be doing it today also, or tomorrow, or after 3 months, or after 6 months. Okay, so the process, there is not a huge change in the process. Okay, the things what you are doing is almost somewhere or the other is similar. Okay, so manually if I'll tell you to validate this page 1,000 times, at the end of the day you will feel that the thing is same, the form is same, the application is same, only I'm just changing the data to test it with multiple scenarios, all the permutation combinations I can apply to it, but the things are not changing, everything is same. Okay, you have to manually load the data from your DB and validate it. You have, once you do the testing, you need to create reports, because whatever things so far you have tested, you need to create report for pass and fail, right? Whether it has been pass or fail. So once your testing is done, you need to create a report as well. Now fourth point says that multiple set of data. Again the same thing, you have an application, you are testing with different sets of data. So the person who is testing is still thinking, friend, there is nothing as such change, I'm just doing it, and that's his task, he has to do it. But that's a pain point, right? If I'll tell you to test the same application again and again with multiple sets of data, and the process is same, the flow is same, everything is same, it's a pain point, right? The companies, it's a not only pain point for the resource, it's a pain point for the company as well, because he is just investing a huge lot of money just to test an application, even the legacy applications and the new applications which are coming. Then if any validation things are there, you need to take a screenshot, and once everything is done, you just create report, format it, and you just send it for the SME review. Okay, SME review is the person who is just very much skilled in the application, to whom we generally send it for the, once the testing is done, we send it for the SME review. Fine. So far I am correct, right? Is there anything I have missed out? Am I wrong? Raghav, Sarita, Sandeep, Lakshmi, Arun, correct? So is there anyone who has come across this issue? Like, not the issue, this flow, this thing? Yes? And this guy is saying that why should I do the same process again and again without change in the flow? Okay, so only Raghav has come across this scenario. So Sandeep, Sarita, Lakshmi, Arun, you guys have never come across this scenario before? Sandeep says yes, partially. Yes, I have. Okay, perfect. So Sandeep, I think you are from web mainframes, right? So even in mainframes, which scenario? The scenario is that you need to test an application. Let's not talk about web. It can be any mainframe or anything. And when I'll tell you that you need to test it, you actually load the data from the database manually, then put it somewhere in an Excel sheet, and then with that data you will test your application. And once your testing gets done, you create some reports saying it as pass or fail. And if you have a common flow, then you will test with multiple sets of data. The scenario is same, only the data is keep on changing. You need to take the screenshots to put it in somewhere in a file to give it as a proof that you have tested it. And it can be any and then you you do the formatting of each and everything, and then you give it for the SME review. So it's a very huge process that you use to follow, and the process is almost similar to it. Okay, there is not huge change in it, and down the line 3 months again you do the same thing, right? That's what we do generally in testing, right? Sandeep says now he says yes, true. Okay, perfect, because that's what, it's not only about web, friend, it's about each and every part of the testing, whether you talk about mainframe, whether you talk about web, whether you talk about any web services. Okay, so these are the things which are happening. If I say that if I automate this process just by a single click, don't you think so it's crazy? And it's going to save a lot of time. So what we'll be doing, we'll be automating this complete process. So we'll talk about how to reduce the rework, how to resolve dataset concept. We'll talk about how to take dynamically screenshots. We'll talk about how to create reports. Fine. So that's what we'll be doing here in automation. So now if I say that you don't have to do all those things, you just have to put an effort in creating a framework or writing a code, everything will be taken care by your framework itself. So if everything can be taken care by a tool, oh wow, now I don't have to do the same process again and again, because these things are getting handled by the automation tool itself. Fine. So here we can see the actual difference, what is happening. Okay, here I can actually compare the things. So if I'll try to do all those things, okay, let's assume I did it, but that's not the end, friend. That's not the end. Okay, Sarita, did you got the scenario? Am I correct? Yes, perfect. Okay, so let me continue. So today's session, friends, it's about to understand why automation. Okay, and it is very important. Okay, soon in the coming slides we'll come to know why I'm saying it's very important, because from here we'll be going towards automation. We have almost reached. So when I say that you have to do all those things, you have to test it manually, you have to get the data from a database, you have to test the same thing again and again with different sets of data. Definitely it's time consuming, and that's not the end. Again, after end of the month, you have to do it for the same application again. Down the line 3 months, you have to do it again. Once the regression comes, you have to do it again. So it's not the end. Okay, it's never end. But when I say you do with automation, you have just put one effort, and when you try to do it, it's definitely going to be fast, because you don't need someone to sit on a machine and do it. So when you do with automation, the processing time is much faster. Okay, and when I talk about Selenium, again it is much faster than other automation tools, because Selenium is not the only automation tool. There are many automation tools. So we need to understand why we should go with Selenium also. And one of the key points that I'll tell you here is that execution wise, if I'll say, Selenium is very much faster. Okay, there is a huge investment in human resources, because you need to hire more resources. See, there are many applications so far which has been developed till date. So if I'll talk about 20 years back, there are many applications which has already been built. Now there are many applications in a day. Every day many applications are coming, and many applications are under development also. So you need to put equally effort on the applications which are under development, about to come. Along with that, you have to make sure that your previous applications are also working fine. So if on the daily basis, if more applications are coming, definitely the companies have to hire more resources. That makes sense, because everything cannot be done by a few people. You need, if the things are getting increased, if the applications are increasing, you need to hire more resources. But why should I hire more resources? Why should I spend more time on those things which are already stable? But definitely it has to be tested. If you, without testing, if you do it, there can be a huge issue which can come up, and it can be a great loss to the company and the client as well. So let's put those things which are stable for automation, and slowly move towards the automation of the new applications and the development phase also. So rather than hiring more resources, let's automate the things and get the things done on time, rather than hiring more resources and investing more money. When you do it manually, it's not accurate all the time, but yes, when you do with automation, it's accurate all the time, because you have only two options. Either it will pass or it will fail. It's not going to manipulate the steps what you have given it to him. So that you have only two options with automation. Either it will pass or fail. Okay, so it's very much accurate. This is not good for regression testing, and it is good for regression testing. Why it is not good for regression testing? Because see, in regression testing, we don't test the complete application from end to end. We just test few functionality. But in that also, the efficiency is not so good. The quality is not so good. But when you talk about regression, you cover more test cases, quality is better, and the reliability is more. This fourth point is clear to everyone? Are you guys, Sarita, you agree with me? Lakshmi says, what is regression testing? Regression testing, Sir Lakshmi, it is like you have a complete application. Okay, so regression testing, generally we do thrice or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times in a year to check our application functionality. So down the line 3 months, you are coming up with some new feature, so you will just do few regression testing, and there are major parts of your application called payments, or which with which you're actually the business runs. So on a very regular basis, you need to test it whether it is working fine or not. That is called regression testing. Fine, Lakshmi? Perfect. So regression testing basically we do to test, because your application is there, so somewhere a core part of it is there. So you have to make sure that it is working fine. That's why people go with regression testing. But once you will start with automation, there are many things you can do. You don't have to only rely on regression testing. 24/7 you can test your application. When you do it manually, it's once or twice execution. Even if you are doing a monthly basis, it's once or twice. But when you do with automation, it can be a frequent execution. Anytime you can test it. The very, very important point, lights out execution. When I say lights out execution not possible, that means once you are away from your system, once you you will be there in the office for 9 hours or 8 hours or 7 hours, what is your time is. But once you're out from your office, no one is going to test your application. But in automation, you can put the things on execution and you can go home. Next day, you can come and see that what was the results. Okay, so you can achieve lights out execution. That's a very good point of it. It is useful for UI testing. Sometimes it is not useful for UI testing. Like when I say sometimes it is not useful, these are like CAPTCHA based. Okay, so CAPTCHA is very difficult to automate, and stock market websites, like stock market, every day you can't do 100% automation for a stock market website, because each and every second the data is keep on changing. But yes, you can achieve till 80% or 90%. Fine, that makes sense. Okay, this is very difficult to manage results and execution for more data, because if your test cases are increasing more, that you need to, if your application functionality is increasing and you need to test a huge number of test cases, definitely you have to do it manually. You have to generate reports manually. You have to do it execution with more sets of data. But when I talk about that, test an application with 10,000 sets of data. With automation, if I talk about, it's very easy. I can generate dynamic reports. I can test the same functionality with multiple sets of data. So I can test my application with 10,000 or 20,000 sets of data. So doing with automation is very much feasible rather than doing it manually, and it is time consuming, and chances of doing mistakes are more if the load gets increases. So it is non-programmable and programmable. So can I get a quick yes from this? Anyone is having any doubt? Okay, lights out execution means unattended. Perfect. I was not, I don't want to use the word unattended, but yes, the answer is yes, Sarita. Okay, perfect. So yes, when I say lights out, it's unattended execution. So Sandeep says, maybe I'm going bit ahead, but do we use any scheduler in this for automation? Okay, no, Sandeep, you're not going much ahead. It's a genuine question. Okay, so yes, if you want to do a scheduler, you can do it. Okay, so generally in Windows, so far I have not seen, when I was working on Hadoop QA. So I have been working as a data analytics QA also. So there is a concept called Uzi. Okay, that is an automation scheduler. So if you want to schedule the jobs, if you want to schedule the testing, definitely. So what you can do, Sandeep, you can create a batch file. Okay, and you can call your Selenium framework or the tool for whichever time you can set it. Like every morning you want to test your functionality. So yes, you can do it. The answer is yes. Okay. Fine, Sandeep. I think I've answered the question. Perfect. Arun says, what is the automation scheduler name? See, Arun, I'll tell you. Arun is saying, what is the automation scheduler name? Okay. So let me share with everyone. So there is, as of now, I have not used any separate tool or any scheduler. But yes, I have been working in Linux and Windows. By default, a scheduler comes with the operating system. So you can just do a Google and check how to schedule jobs. Right, Sandeep, if I'm not wrong? So whatever batch file you create, you can schedule the jobs. I can do one thing, I can just show you in the coming modules. Maybe if I'll get time, I'll try to collect some data and share with you that how to schedule jobs on the operating systems. Fine. Sandeep, if I'm not wrong, can you just correct me? So far, what if I'll talk about my experience, I was using Linux and Windows operating system to schedule batch files which generate reports and do some automation part of it. Okay, so I was basically scheduling some reports. So you can create a batch file and you can actually set it in your system or a server, saying that you can set the time also run. That you can say that morning 8 a.m. I want to run this report so that I can get some dynamic reports. Okay. Perfect. Sandeep says, yes, I'm aware of mainframe scheduler only, not much idea on Windows. Okay, fine. So Arun, so far, yes, you can do it. Okay. So if you're looking forward for any tool or anything, I won't suggest you to go with it because it by default comes with the operating system. So yes, you can do it. Okay. Thanks, Arun. And thanks, Sandeep, for sharing for asking a good question. I really appreciate it. So in this way, you have to come up with the questions. Okay. So far, I don't want you guys to restrict yourself. Okay. I want you guys to be very open in asking a question, and there is no concept of asking a question before and asking a question like very late. You are never a late guy. You are never a late person for anything. If you are asking question, that means you definitely have a doubt. So I'm not the right person to judge you. I'm the right person to correct you and answer your queries. Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. Let's continue. So it's very simple slide. It tells that what is the usage of automation. So it is used to find defects, okay, missed by manual testing, because when you do with automation, you do 100% of automation. Okay, like 100% of accuracy is there, so you won't miss any testing. It is very good for regression testing. And when you do with automation, you will get a quick feedback to developers. You can give a rapid feedback to the developers. You don't have to, there won't be much delay, so things can be fixed on time. Okay. And if there is a huge iteration is involved, like in the testing, with the help of the automation, it's helpful. And support for agile and extreme development methodologies. So far in these days, people are moving forward with agile development also. So before, it was not so successful, not so popular for agile testing, because people go with automation when they think that things are very much stable. Now, when I talk about agile, the development team itself know that this thing is going to be tested with automation. So they'll make sure that they'll give the properties and everything, whatever things they have done so far. Because here the concept of property is very important, because when you try to interact with web, things should not change in the backend. It should be same. So developers are making sure that the application what they are building is going to be tested parallelly. So they'll make sure that the properties and web elements are same. So I'll talk about what is property and web elements. So yes, people are moving forward with agile, but when you say that things are very frequently changing, you have come up with one UI design and tomorrow you are coming with another UI design, then I'll say that's not the correct way to go with automation. Okay, the first priority you should give, the application should be stable. Stable in the sense, I'm not saying the things should not change at all. Okay, stable means the UI design, your architecture should not change. Okay, if your complete architecture itself is changing, definitely you need to write a separate script for it. Okay, and when I say agile, so development team, whatever part of the code they have already completed, they'll test it and they'll come up with a new design, means new features they'll add to it, and they let the testing team know that yes, you can go ahead and test it. Okay, so in that fashion, the things are going fast. Lakshmi says, what is agile? So Lakshmi, agile based testing means, okay, that's a very good question. Okay, if you have a doubt, all those things, it's very good. So Lakshmi, basically agile testing means two teams are sitting. One is development team and one is the testing team. So once your development team is doing some work, once your application is ready, then they'll give it to you and then you will start testing the application. Okay, that is called waterfall model. There is a concept called, so generally people don't go in that way these days. So if there is a huge time involved, once the development team will build the tool or a product, then they will give it to you, then you will sit and test it, then once you will find the issue, then you will get back to the development team and they'll fix up, then again they'll come back to you. In this, the huge time is involved. Okay, so now what 90 more than 90% of the companies are following agile based. Agile based means what? When your development is going on, that time itself the testing team should also be involved. Once they'll build 20 or 30% of the feature, the testing team will test it. At the same time, development team will be working on another development part. So by the time they're working on something else, the team will be testing it and they'll get back, provide the rapid feedback to them. Once any issue is coming, they'll add more features and they'll fix the issue what you have come up with, and they'll do it. So parallelly development and testing is going on. Fine, Lakshmi? I think I've answered your question, Lakshmi. Can you please confirm? Fine. And yes, there is a disciplined documentation of test cases. And when I say disciplined documentation, so that means whatever test cases you are going to write, because here we are going to learn two things. We'll learn what is framework, what is automation framework, and second we'll see how to write unit testing, like for Selenium, or how to directly write a code to test an application, I should say. So when I say that when I'm designing a framework, so for every testing I don't have to write a code because the framework is itself ready. Framework, it's like a tool, automation tool that you are going to design. So if it is a tool, it's going to work on some standard protocols. So if it works on some standard protocols, that means you have to follow those protocols, then only you can automate anything. Then only the framework or the tool will understand what you want to talk, what do you want to talk. So there is a disciplined documentation of test cases. Okay, so it's up to you. If you give a wrong name, like less meaningful name, so it is going to create a problem for you only. Okay, so we'll see that how to achieve good documentation. Anyways, you have to follow the framework concepts, framework protocols to automate or to execute, to automate anything. But at the same time, the scripting what you are doing, it has to be meaningful. Okay, so we'll come back to this point, but so far I think this point is very much clear. Okay, and customized defect reporting. So anytime you can customize your script to or you can customize your project to report anything. Like you can customize your script, and for one scenario it is working, for one scenario it is not working. You can customize your framework. So end to end everything is customized when we talk about automation. Okay, so what all the benefits so far we have seen? Now all the points is going to be very much clear. Definitely there is a cost reduction. I don't have to hire more resources to test it. There is a huge time saving I'm doing. It's reliable. Reusability is there because the script what I have written, because you have 250 steps of flow. So what I'll do, I'll break the process. So maybe you can reuse those processes in another processes as well. So there is a huge reusability is there. If you have written a script for one process, there is a chance that you might use that process for another process as well. So there is because things are already up and running. When we do manually, there is no process. For everything you have to do it again and again, again and again, again and again. But when I say that your scripts are already working, your scripts are already ready, and if you tell me to execute, I can anyways go back and just do the execution. So there is a huge reusability is there. Definitely it is fast. And yes, Sarita, can you see the point? Unattended execution. So how many of you know about what is unattended execution? How many of you heard about unattended execution? Can I get a quick confirmation from everyone? Lakshmi, Arun, Sandeep, Sarita, Raghav. Lakshmi says I didn't hear. Sarita says yes. Raghav says yes. So far only 3%. Raghav, Arun, I have heard. Yes, I'm aware of it. Perfect. almost everyone, but let me tell you what exactly unattended execution means. Okay, thanks Lakshmi for sharing. So basically, when I talk about unattended execution, that is a very challenging task, not for you, for the automation, for the vendors. Okay, see, if you are coming up with any tool and you say that yes, you can do automation, but when automation is going on, you cannot do anything. What is this? Okay, what is this? If you that's not the correct way, right? Okay, till certain extent I accept that somewhere this process, this tool is helping me to automate, but that's not the correct way. That when you are saying that things can be automated, that is fine, but when automation is going on, you cannot do anything. So it has blocked me. I can't interact with the system. So it's like the system, if during automation is going on, if I'll try to open any window, or if I'll try to open any OC or chat window, or if I want to mail someone, I cannot do it. Or there is an urgent reply, I want to do it, but I cannot do it. Okay, so that is like my system is blocked. But when I say unattended execution, unattended execution means you don't have to be on a system. You can minimize your browser. You don't have to be look at your system every time, that whether your execution going fine or not. When you talk about Selenium, that is again a key feature of Selenium. You can minimize your browser, you can do the testing. Okay, you can lock your system, go home and do the testing. So all those features are there. You don't have to be actually looking at the screen, and there is no concept like you have to be if the execution is going on, you can't do anything else. So using Selenium, this feature is not there in, I'm not sure about QTP. Recently they have provided this feature, but 2 years back or almost that time it was not there. Okay, but in IBM RFT still it's not there. Okay, so when the or most of the automation tools, what happens when the automation is going on, you can't do anything else. You have to keep the system as it is, or else the action what it is going to perform will fail. It is going to click somewhere and you did something, so it won't be clicking on it. Or it was about to enter something in the text box and you just moved your mouse and you clicked somewhere else, it has entered somewhere else. Okay, so yes, this feature is there in Selenium to do unattended execution. You can do minimize your browser, do the execution. You can do remote execution. You can lock your system, go home and do the execution. Fine. Can I get a quick yes for this from everyone? This point is clear, Lakshmi and all. Arun. Sandeep says, how about the automation tool cost? Okay, fine, I'll come back. So far this point is clear. Okay, so let me share Sandeep question and then I'll read out. So Sandeep says that, how about the automation tool cost? I believe Selenium is one which is open source. Please correct me. And I just thought about it when we discussed cost reduction. Yes. So Sandeep, yes, your point is correct. So Sandeep says that, how about the cost reduction? It's because it is open source. Yes, you are correct. It's open source. But Sandeep, thing is that QTP, no, QTP is not open source, and there is a huge many drawbacks are also there. When you talk about, we'll see. See, I'll talk about which automation tool you should go with and you should not go with. We'll come back to this point. First discuss the cost part of it. Okay, I'll come back to the question, Lakshmi. So when I say that it's an open source, so being an open source is not the only reason of cost reduction. Okay, it's not the only reason to go with Selenium. There should be other. See, here accuracy is more important. You can use Selenium, but it is not so good. So why you should go with? It's better I'll put some money in an automation tool and I'll be more reliable. Okay, so along with being an open source, it is a very good tool to always go forward, and it is the master of all. When I say that it for web-based automation, there is no competitor. equivalent competitor with for UI based testing in automation. Okay, another reason that why cost reduction is there, you can integrate web services automation, you can integrate mainframe automation, you can integrate XML based automation, you can integrate desktop based automation. So for all these scenarios you don't have to rely on the tool. Okay, you can customize your project end to end. So being an open source, the benefit is that sorry, being a Java API or being an API, the reason is the best part is that you can integrate many things in it. In that way also you are saving a lot. Got my point, Sandeep? And yes, you are correct. I really appreciate for that point. Fine. So this point is clear to everyone for cost reduction and the unique features of it. Okay, Lakshmi says, what is QTP? Lakshmi, QTP is one of the automation tool. Okay, and if you will go back down the line, like 4 years or 5 years back, this was the only tool which was there in market, which is used to automate, like the very best tool in the market to automate UI based automation. Raghav says, yeah, true. Sandeep says, yes, thanks for clarifying. Yes, perfect. So Sandeep, I'll ask you one question that for you are doing mainframe automation, right? So thanks, Lakshmi. Which tool you are using for mainframe? Because I have been when still I'm doing it's for me also, it's more than 4 to 5 years. So I was using IBM 3270 emulator to do mainframe testing. So if I'm not wrong, you are from mainframe testing, right? Or web services? Okay, by the time Sandeep replies, let me move forward with two other points. So reliability means, yes, the things what I have written, that only the tool is going to perform. So I'm very much sure that I'm very much reliable on the tool. Chances of doing human error is very less, and the quality, better quality. So when I say better quality, this can only be achieved when you are doing good scripting, when you are doing efficient level of coding. See, quality cannot be achieved by the tool itself. There is no magic is not going around. There is no magic is happening that okay, I'll use Selenium, I'll do automation, the quality can be maintained. No, it's you who has to maintain the quality. And the Selenium and the other any automation tool provides you a huge list of options to maintain the quality. So it's you who has to maintain the quality. If you won't maintain the quality of the tool, definitely it's going to create a problem for you. So I'll come back to you that if you won't maintain the quality, how it is going to be a problem for you. Okay, but yes, if you go with this thing, you will get a better quality to your project, to your framework, and to your scripts. We'll get into more. Okay, because this, if you won't do a better quality, it's going to be a drawback of automation. So we'll talk about it. How can it be a drawback for automation? So all the points are clear to everyone. Can I get a okay? Fine. Raghav says Hogon and Apollo. Fine. Mainframe app dev, we use some scripts such as regs and clients, etc. Okay, fine. So you basically used to, let me share the answer with everyone. So Raghav says that mainframe dev apps. So there itself you need to write a small script to check the functionality, right? Raghav, if I'm not wrong. Mainframes. Okay, thanks Raghav, Sandeep and Raghav. Yes. Actually, we can use some good JCL every easy. Okay, fine. Reporting. Fine, fine. So this slide is clear to everyone. Raghav says used to test mainframe manually. Fine. Okay. So I have been working, if I'll talk about mainframe, my experience, I was using IBM 3270 emulator, and for that, with that only we used to do automation. Like still I'm doing the automation on the mainframes as well. Okay, that's again a very huge, very big sector in the field of automation. Correct, Sandeep? Raghav? Okay. Now let me go to the next slide. Now, what's the disadvantage? Now this slide is very, very important. It's not easy. When I say it's not easy, it means what? See, without knowing how automation tool works, without knowing what Selenium API is, without knowing how Selenium can be used to do an automation, it's going to be a difficult task for you. So you have learning is more important than implementation. Then you have to implement it, then you will make the thing, then the things will be easy. It's not that you have just thought that okay, I'll use Selenium to automate. No, it's not. You have to learn first and do it. So it's not so easy. You have to learn the things first and then you can proceed. So learning is there. Automation script errors. So when I say automation script errors, see, we'll be writing a script, and if you have 250, you are writing a script of 500 lines, you are writing a script of 600 lines, and in that 270 line is getting failed or 140 line is getting failed, it's very difficult to manage. So you should always write a script for maximum 50 steps. Okay, maximum. Don't go beyond 50 or 60, because if any issue is coming across, the scripting what you will be doing in automation, the automation scripts what you are going to be write, it should be minimal. Okay, it should be minimal, and the less number of steps you will keep, reusability will be more. If you try to put everything in one place, reusability will be less. So it will be tight coupling will be there. And if you will write small script, so that if anything goes wrong, you can easily find the issue and fix it. So script, if any scripting error comes and you're writing a huge script and it is if anything goes fail, it's very difficult to manage. Second reason, let me write it quickly. So today I'm taking the session from my home. Generally I used to go to take it from the edureka office. Give me a second, friends. Okay, by the time let it open. So what I was trying to say that if you write very huge scripts, okay, let me show you in an Excel sheet. I think it is opening. Yes. So if you, a very simple example, okay, if you try to create steps with these many number of lines, okay, I'm not writing anything here, okay, just 180 line. If anything goes fail, anything gets failed in line number, let me highlight it. Okay, if this line gets failed, this line is failing, or this line is failing. Okay, so what will happen, or this line is failing. And if I'll go down and randomly this line also fails. So you have written something here in an Excel sheet which is going to your framework and it is performing an execution. So what happens here, it got failed. So if it fails, everything will means you need to re-execute it. Okay, and the other reason is that if it is failing, definitely I'll create a framework in such a way that it should report a proper line and proper everything. But thing is that you need to get into the script and understand and fix the things. Okay, so never try to create such a huge script. Second reason is that for bad scripting, if you are saying that username is edureka, username is Robert, let me increase the size. Okay, username is Robert and password is admin, and you are clicking on login. So this is very clear, right? 1 second, let me. Okay, can you guys see this line? Okay, now it is clear. So username Robert, so it is very clear. But if I'll start preparing a script saying that username pass login, I'm saying log, so it's not at all clear what I'm trying to do. So this is called a bad scripting. Okay, so if you write your scripts in this way, it's very difficult for the third person to understand what you're trying to do. Okay, if you are doing it's fine, even for yourself it's a problem. You after a week you will forget what is this UN, what is this pass, what is this log. So it's always good to write a better and meaningful script. So that's what this scripting error is going to create an issue. So if you do this process, it becomes to be complex and debugging becomes very difficult. It makes sense? So if you go in this way, it becomes very complex and debugging becomes very difficult. So who is creating the disadvantage for you? For your in terms of what's the disadvantage in automation? It's you only who creates the disadvantage. It's not the tool. If you won't use it in a proper way, it's going to create a problems for you. Okay, is it mandate to know any programming language, Arun? Yes, you should know at least one basic programming language, object-oriented programming languages. Okay, Arun. Lakshmi says typically how many lines of a web page testing? See, it depends upon your test case, Lakshmi. Okay, so we'll discuss like how many pages of web testing. See, it depends upon your use case. So to automation, you should not take it, don't use it in a different way. Whatever documentation you get to create test cases, you just write, rather than doing it manually. For those small test cases, you create small test scripts, a chunk of test scripts, and whenever you need, you can only quickly fix it and do it. So it depends upon your use case how you want to do it. You can have a 10 pages of testing, you can have 2 pages of testing also. Okay, you can navigate to 10 pages also or 20 pages also. Fine, Lakshmi? It totally depends upon your scenario. So can everything be automated? Okay, now when you should go with automation and when you should not go with automation, this question again comes. So if your application is changing in the new future, like your complete architecture and UI is changing, then you should not go with it. But when you know that the UI, the architecture design so far which are coming up, or generally you should go with those applications which are very stable, the automation is very successful. But even so, when completely your end-to-end your architecture and your designing is changing, then you should not go, if you know. And if you have a very short deadline, like your manager comes and tell you that you have 1 week of time to test your application, then you should never go with automation. It's better to go and manually test it, because in if your scripts are not ready. Okay, if it is a very new application and it is coming to you and you have to test it on a very short line, just a week or 2, you should not go with it. Okay, you should go with manual testing. So can I get a quick yes for this? This point is clear to everyone? This makes sense, right, Sarita? If I'm not wrong, Sandeep, Raghav? Yes. So okay, automation tools. Then what is Selenium? Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just give you a break for 5 minutes, and just after that we'll continue. So we'll continue about the automation tools and we'll start with Selenium. Okay, so far it was a very good discussion about automation, right? That why automation and how automation. Okay, now I'll give you a break for 5 minutes and then we'll continue with why Selenium. We'll start with Selenium and flavors of Selenium. Okay, so I think it's the right time. One second. So anyone is having any doubt? Sarita, Sandeep, Raghav? Any doubt, any confusion you have? Sarita says I'm good so far. Thank you. Raghav? Perfect. So let's start with automation tools. So Lakshmi, you were asking, right, what is QTP? So QTP is actually one of the HP tool which is used, which is again an automation tool. Okay, like there is an IBM tool called Rational Functional Tester, Securely, Silk Test, Test Complete, Testing Anywhere, WinRAR, Sahi. There is one more famous tool which is again there in the market, which is also very good. So why you should go with Selenium if other automation tools are? Why we should go? Okay, we'll see today. We'll see in the coming slides. See, the first reason is that QTP. See, why I'm comparing with IBM RFT and QTP, because these are very two popular tools. So the comparison should be done with those tools which are very popular in the market, not with all the automation tools. So QTP and IBM RFT are licensed and Selenium is open source. So the first thing comes from the cost saving. Okay, you don't have to spend any money in the for buying a tool or to do anything. Okay, there is a huge money is involved in training for IBM RFT and QTP, because if you it's a license tool, right? So you have to first you need to get the license, you need to pay, and once you get a license, it for in that also you get license for user basis, like 50 users access or 10 users access or 100 user access. So depending upon the users, the license cost gets increased or decreased, but there is no license cost involved or training cost involved. The training cost is very less. Okay, and even if the training cost goes, there is no license cost involved in it. For QTP and RFT, there is a dedicated team, but for Selenium, you don't have a dedicated team to resolve your query. So means to resolve your issue. So if there is any issue comes in the tool in QTP or RFT, the dedicated team is sitting which is going to help you out. But what about Selenium? In Selenium, it's not a tool. So how many of you think that Selenium is a tool still? How many of you think that Selenium is a tool or automation tool? Raghav, Arun, Lakshmi, it's fine if you say yes or no, it's not a problem. Okay, Sarita. So, do you think that Selenium is a tool? Yes or no? Raghav says no. Then what it is, Raghav? Selenium is a framework. No, framework is something that you design generally, Sarita. Okay, Selenium, what Selenium is? Is it a tool or what it is? If it is not a tool, then what it is? Sandeep, Lakshmi, Arun, any guess? Oh, perfect, Raghav. Okay. ID, okay. No, not exactly, Sarita. Okay. So Raghav says it's an API set of jar files. Very correct. It's a Java API. I shouldn't say Java. It's any API. Okay. You can have an API of C Sharp. It's an API of Java. It's an API of Python. It is basically I'll say I'll use any one language. It is basically a Java API or a C Sharp API which can be used to design a framework, which can be used to design an automation tool. Okay, so it is not a tool using the Java API or the using the APIs using the jar files. It's a jar file. Okay, using this you can design an automation framework. Got it? Can I get a quick yes from everyone? This is very important. Got it? Sarita, Raghav. Raghav gave the answer. Perfect. Correct, Raghav. Thanks, Raghav. I really appreciate it. Sarita says, please repeat. Yeah. So Sarita, basically Selenium, if I say it is a Java API. Okay. So I'll show you what does it mean. 1 second. Yeah. So I'll go to Selenium official website. If I'll go to downloads, I'll show you this website, okay, once again, so no need to worry. So Selenium is basically a client library. It's an API. Okay, it's not a tool. So if you can download this Java API, I'll download it and show you it within when the class is about to end. Okay, so it's going to be a jar files. It's a Java files or a C Sharp files or a Ruby files. So using this, you can design your framework or a tool. Okay, so it's not a tool, it's like a Java classes, C Sharp classes, Ruby classes, Python classes, whichever language you are comfortable with, you can download and use those classes to automate web applications. Correct? Sarita, got it? Fine. Okay, let me get back to the PPT then. And there is a huge hardware and software is involved, but in Selenium it's not. QTP RFT takes around 4 GB of space, but in Selenium it's just take few MBs of space. Thanks, Sarita. And you need to be coding experience of engineer, not much. Okay, coding experience of engineer is required because it's more about record and play QTP. Scripting also you can do. IBM RFT you need a coding experience. But let me just in altogether I'll say all these 3 points. The drawback is that you should be good in VB scripting, then only you can do QTP, and it only works on Windows. In RFT, it works on Windows and Linux, not only Windows. And the problem is that it only supports Java and JavaScript. C Sharp, I think C Sharp is also not there. C Sharp you cannot do it in IBM RFT. Sorry, by mistake it was there. The only language it supports is Java and JavaScript, and it works on Windows and Linux. But what about Selenium? It supports almost all the operating system. Okay, it supports almost all the operating systems, and whichever background you are from, if you are from Ruby, you are from Python, Perl, PHP, JavaScript, C Sharp, Java, yes, you can do Selenium automation. So that's a key point to go with Selenium. So whatever scripts you are testing, you can test on any operating system. The script what you have written in Windows will run on Mac. The code what you have written in Linux will work on Windows. So it's a cross-platform testing. Even if you can test your application on any browser, on any versions of the browsers also, and you can use any programming language, whichever you want. Most of the languages are very popular. So if you are from Python user, you can do it. If you are from Ruby user, you can. Fine. So this slide is clear to all. Now the decision goes. Now now we have to go with Selenium. Okay. So these are the very major points which tell us that why you should go with Selenium. Correct. So I think this slide is clear. If anyone is having any doubt, please let me know. So Annie is there. She is asking some question. So can you guys answer me this question? All web applications can be automated using Selenium because of its support for multiple language and platform. So please answer me 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see who answers me the correct answer, means who gives the correct answer. You can answer 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever option is correct. Sarita, Arun, Raghav, Lakshmi. See, I'll tell you to think twice, then give the answer. Okay, so far I have received few answers. So is this the only okay, fine. So Sarita, Arun, you have not given. I have received half people have given the answer. Okay, everyone is saying 1. Okay, so the answer, okay, everyone is saying that yes, it supports multiple languages and platform. Okay, friend. Okay, let me just answer you this question. So answer is that depending upon the application under test. Okay, so if I say that Selenium, if just taking few advanced feature of Selenium, that should not be the only reason of taking any automation tool. There should be other reasons as well. So the answer is depending upon the application under test. So if Selenium provides you support for multiple languages and platform, that's not the only reason. First, you should understand what the application is, whether you should go with the automation with Selenium or not. In future it is changing or not. If in future if it is changing, so if you say that no, Selenium provides multiple language support and platform, you should go with it. So that's not the only reason you should go with Selenium for automation. The reason is that first you should understand the application, whether it is feasible to go with automation or not. Okay. See, if you feel like that, it totally depends upon the test case you are going to see. Okay, so any web application can be tested. You should not go with only with these 2 features. You should check whether it supports your application works on all the browsers or not. So will it support cross browser testing? Yes, the answer is yes. So here cross-browser testing has not been discussed. So you need to see all the parameters, then you should go with it and do it. Okay. Do you like, will I be able to achieve unattended execution? Yes. So using one or two features is not the only reason to go with it. Depending upon the application under test, you should go with it. Okay, first you analyze the application, test it, analyze multiple scenarios, and then think, will this automation tool provide me all these features? Then only you should go with it. Okay, that makes sense. And that is a very, that should be your mindset. Okay, you should not go with the flow, you should always think out of the box. That is very important. So everyone goes, you should not be the, yeah, that's a correct statement, you should not go with the flow, you should go with the uh, you should think in a different way. Okay, getting with few advanced features is not the only reason. Sarita says, I thought both 1 and 4. Perfect, very good, Sarita. Okay, so this part is clear, right? So the automation is achieved only after analyzing the application. 100% automation. Those applications whose data keeps on changing for every 5 and 10 seconds won't be good to automate. Or there are many factors. Okay, it's not very one or two factors on using those features you can move forward. So it's always, you should analyze the application before you go with automation. So if you understand why you want to do automation for that any application and what you have to automate it, then for how it will automatically come. So first we should understand what and why, then we should go with how. Okay, so let's see from some unique features of Selenium. So it supports almost every OS. Okay, and that's a great feature of it. It is an open source, cost effective automation testing, supports multiple programming languages. So if you are a Python user or Ruby user, because see, after Java, you know which is the most popular language in the world? Can anyone guess? I'll show you the list. It's from this list only. Can anyone guess after Java which is the most popular language in the world? Sarita says JavaScript. Anyone else wants to guess? After Java. Java is the most popular language around the world. Perl and Python also. No, Sarita, in this way, all the options will come. Okay, let me answer you guys. Perfect, Raghav. Very good. So far, only Raghav has given the correct answer. Sarita, I think you have almost covered all the programming languages. Okay, so after Java, the most popular language is Ruby. I really appreciate Raghav. Very correct, Raghav. Yes, the answer is Ruby. After Java, the most popular language is Ruby. So if you are a Ruby user, if you're not a Java user, you can take Ruby as a language to do automation. Okay. So now can you think, just think in a different way. Okay. Now try to think out of the box. Don't think that you are learning Selenium, you will learn some language and you will try to automate it. Think in such a way that companies don't want to hire a separate team for developer, a separate team for tester. Okay, this is a very correct statement I am telling you. Companies never, what word I should say, entertain this scenario. Okay, that okay, we'll have a dedicated team for testing and we'll have a dedicated team for development. If you talk about product based companies, okay, service based companies anyways, they have to provide a service to the clients. Okay, so they'll have a testing team only. But when you talk about product based companies, they expect that the development team, one or two resources should be there. So using the language what they are using, in that only, with that only they should do automation also. That makes sense, correct? Can I get a quick yes for this? This point is clear to everyone? So if you are from a Ruby user, Python user, Perl, you can use any language to do automation. Correct? Perfect, Raghav. Thanks, Raghav. So that's the very big advantage. Okay. Another big advantage. Selenium has nothing to do with the language what you are going to use to design an application. Okay. So you have designed an application using JavaScript, PHP, or JSP servlet, Springs, Hibernate, AngularJS, Ajax, Dojo, whichever application you have used. Selenium has nothing to do with the technology what you are using to build an application. it is independent of the programming language what you are using to design an application. Okay, then it supports multiple browsers. So let me give a more description for this. When I say multiple browsers, I'll just say the feature of Selenium, okay? But that feature is not possible with any other automation tool. The feature is that Selenium provides support for all the browsers, okay? And it supports, along with providing support for all the browsers, it provides support for all the versions of the browsers. That is again a very good feature. The script what you have prepared in Firefox for Firefox will work for IE also. Same thing will work for Chrome, Opera, Safari. So it supports multiple browsers. More options to find an object. Yes, there are more options. If I'll compare with other automation tools, Selenium provides a huge list of options to interact with web elements. Using Selenium, you can design a keyword-driven and data-driven framework and hybrid framework. So it's up to you how you are designing it. It's not that Selenium is helping you to design it. It's you who has to design the framework. Okay, even unit testing is also coming with Selenium API, so you don't have to download and JUnit and TestNG separately. It comes with Selenium API only. Okay, and yes, with Selenium you can do parallel execution, even you can do remote execution. So parallelly you can execute multiple scripts. So can I get a quick yes for this, all the points? Is there anything that you have any doubt? I need an answer from all. Sarita, Raghav, Arun, Sandeep. I need a quick. Raghav says yes, yes. Raghav says 1 second. Mobile automation possible? Yes, Raghav, it's possible. But that's not part of the course, okay? But yes, actually for mobile automation using Selenium, you can do Android, iPhone. I'll show you how to do it, but that's totally a different thing, okay? Because for that you need Android and iOS setup environment, and it is little bit a different way to do it. Okay, but yes, using, it's not directly using Selenium. There is a tool called APM. Have you heard about, Raghav? APM, Selendroid. Using that you can use it, do it. That comes under the community of Selenium only. Yes, very correct. No. You know, for a sad smiley, Raghav, for why we are not covering, that's why. Not heard about them. Okay, okay, okay. You have not heard about them. Fine. So, okay, fine, not a problem. So actually, there are many other tools which are under the community of Selenium called Selendroid APM. These are used to, I'll talk about mobile automation also. Okay. So if you guys want to give a kick start to your learning, I can help you in that. No need to worry. So you can see BlackBerry, iOS, APM. So these are actually not very popular, but yes, APM is there. So we'll discuss this point. Okay. So let me share a page with you guys called Selenium 3.0. This page says that this page actually talks, I'll just share with you, okay? You guys can go through it, and this page actually talks about mobile automation as well. So I'll just show you a few things if you want. 1 second. Mm. Fine. What does this mean for mobile users? Selenium project will be hosting a suite of tests to facilitate interoperability between the many different projects available that are extended the WebDriver API. Okay, developers from projects such as APM, iOS, and Android will be working on the suite to test to enable this. So what they are trying to do now, see, these tools are already there, Selendroid, iOS, APM. What they are trying to do right now, they are trying to merge these features and providing it as a default feature of Selenium. Okay, as of now it's not there, but yes, if you want to go with mobile automation, you can go with APM, iOS, and Selendroid. If I'll show you this, got my point, Raghav? And to everyone, it's not the only Raghav question, it's the question for all. Got it? If I'll show you APM, it's a totally a different tool. Automation for apps. APM is an open source test automation framework for use with native, hybrid, and mobile apps. Fine. So there is many things to learn, friend. It's just a start. Okay, it's just a start. So many things are happening around the world. You just have to grab the things. The sooner you will grab, the more opportunities you will get. Correct, Sarita? Sandeep? Yes? Perfect. So, okay, we'll talk about all those things. Okay, so first today I just want to make you guys familiar with the Selenium. So what's the okay, these are actually not the disadvantage, okay, but these were the disadvantages, okay, not only with Selenium, with many other automation tools, okay, but all those things has been recovered. So first is the IE developer toolbar. In Selenium, generally we find the properties using developer toolbar. So we'll discuss what it is. As of now, you just remember that there is a developer toolbar. If I talk about Chrome, there is a Chrome developer toolbar. For Firefox, there is a Firefox developer toolbar. For IE, there is a IE developer toolbar. So these developer toolbars basically used to find properties in web. So when we'll be discussing about in module 2 locator techniques, there I'll come with developer toolbar. So the only drawback what we have so far is, like in most of the tools, that XPath is very difficult. XPath is one of the property that we cannot find. Okay, so we'll see what is XPath is. So far you just see, remember that XPath is one of the property to find an object. So we were not able to do it, but now we can do with Selenium. Okay, by default Selenium don't provides you a huge report. Okay, you have to customize it and get the reports done for you. Okay, so this is again it's not, I won't say it's a completely a drawback. It's you, if you want to generate a very descriptive report, yes you can do it, but by default Selenium won't provide you by itself. You have to use its features to generate the reports. Okay, there is one concept called Selenium IDE, that is a record and play tool. Okay, so when I say it's a record and play tool, so you can't put an intelligence in it, right? So it cannot be used for you can't put a logic in it. It can't be used for data driven testing. Okay, but yes, Selenium IDE till certain extent it is much better than any other record and play tool. We'll see how it is, but yes, this thing is also there, that in record and play tool you cannot put logic in it. If things you have recorded, you can't put a logic in it, you can't put an intelligence in it. Okay, that's a drawback, and it's not a drawback, it's a very general scenario. Okay, and the thing is that by default Selenium don't provide you an option to validate the images. When I say it doesn't provide you an option to validate the images, means what? It's not only Selenium, okay, it's any automation tool. If I click on Yahoo, or let's open, I'm working from Mac, so let me open an Apple website. So this application is there. So I want to validate, when I go to the home page, this icon should be there. Say using an image you should do, right? Correct, Sarita? Sandeep? Raghav? So it's not the drawback of Selenium, it's with any automation tool. You can't do it. Okay? Directly an image validation. But if I'll come to Selenium, by default Selenium won't provide you, but yes, we have an option to do image validation also. I can directly validate this logo, or if I say Microsoft.com, if I'll go, okay, I want to validate this logo. So yes, by default it is not there in any automation tool, but in Selenium we can do it using image recognition tool called Seculi. So we can do image validations also. Can I get a quick yes for this? This point is clear. Lakshmi, Sarita, Lakshmi, Raghav, Sandeep. Yes. So the answer is yes, we can do using securely. That's an image recognition tool. Perfect. So I need an answer from all. Can you guys please reply back to me? So all the 4 points are clear. Is there anyone who is having a doubt? Sarita, Arun, clear? Is securely embedded in Selenium itself? Very good question, Sarita. So far it is not embedded, but soon it is going to be. Very good question. It's under development, Sarita. Okay. So what exactly the Selenium is? Okay, so the very simple definition, if I say, thanks Arun, so about Selenium, Selenium is basically used to automate web applications. That's it. Okay, if you talk about Selenium, it is basically used to automate web applications only. So the feature of Selenium is that it is platform independent. It is you can use any programming languages, you can run your script on any operating system, and scripts can be run on any browsers, whichever browser you want. Fine. And if I talk about the execution and the performance wise and execution wise, Selenium is much faster. So when I'll show you a demo, I'll show you how quick it is. In a fraction of seconds, it will just fill up your complete page and do the execution. It's very fast. So Jason is the founder of Selenium RC and Selenium IDE in 2004. He is an engineer in ThoughtWorks. So he came up with this new tool called Selenium RC and Selenium IDE. Then Google started using Selenium at a very large scale, and they found a bug in the architecture of it. So they corrected the architecture and they came up with a new tool called WebDriver. Only WebDriver. Selenium word was not there. So Selenium, before it was called Selenium 1, and when Google came with new version, it's called Selenium 2. So altogether, you cannot neglect all the features of Selenium, because it so far many people and many industries have used it, Selenium RC, and still most of people have already used it. And there are many features what Google has also reused it, so they gave a name called Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so WebDriver is faster in with RC. Okay, and because the architecture is good, the API what they have come, the design, the Java files, the classes what they have used is much better than RC, and provide native support for browsers. So RC and WebDriver also, okay, yes, native support for browsers. Because of the enhancement in the architecture, there is a native support for browsers. So I'll come back to this point again when we'll discuss the architecture. When I say native support for browsers means what from architecture point of view. But to explain you what is native support for browsers, that means that the code what you have written can directly interact with the browser. So Selenium actually uh, runs from the heart of the browser. It actually sits in the heart of the browser and does the execution. That's the reason it is very fast. And again, the very reason is the other reason is that why it is sitting at the heart of the browser and doing the execution, because the browser itself is providing support to it. Okay, so both the projects has been merged and it has come up with Selenium WebDriver. There is a huge list of communities which have worked on Selenium. It's not a one company who has just few people who have done everything. There are huge, because Selenium is open source, right? So there is a huge people is involved in the development of it. And if you'll go to Selenium official page, if I'll go to about, you can see contributors here, contributors. So if I'll click on contributors, so you can see someone has worked on store keyword, store methods. Someone has worked on click actions. Someone has worked on perform, actions.perform. This is used to handle keyboard actions. You can perform keyboard actions. If you want to start any page, Someone has worked on timeout. Someone has worked on send keys. Someone has worked for wait for condition. So many people are involved in the development of Selenium. Okay, see, JSON itself has involved in capturing entire page screenshot. So many things has been, many people have worked on it. So it's a huge community. Many people have worked around it to build Selenium. So that's what the flavors of Selenium are. Okay, first Selenium IDE came, then Selenium RC came, then Selenium WebDriver came with better features and better architecture diagram. Okay, and then Selenium Grid is there for doing remote execution and parallel execution. Fine. So today we'll discuss. Today what I'm going to tell you. See, this is our complete course. So whatever flavors you are seeing here, whatever generation you can see here, this is what our course is. Along with that, we'll learn about unit testing, we'll learn about Securely, we'll learn about TestNG, we'll learn about JUnit, we'll learn about Auto IT, we'll learn about all the programming techniques, okay? But the core part of the course is this, all the generations. So today what I'll do, I'll take you through all the flavors so that after today's session, somewhere you have something in a mind that what all the things you are going to study in the coming modules. Okay, so I won't get too much into what is IDE, what is RC, what is WebDriver and Grid. Yes, but theoretically I'll explain you, but not too much into it. What exactly all the features like that makes sense. So that if someone asks you that what is there in Selenium, you should know what exactly is there in the Selenium. Correct? This makes sense. So before I start, just to wake up you guys, can I get a quick hi from everyone? Sarita, Arun, Lakshmi. So far so good. Friend, Raghav, yes, Arun, Lakshmi, perfect. So the hi was there. Let me give you a smiley so that at least you guys can smile for a time being. So Sarita says, okay, fine. Okay, let's start with Selenium flavors of it. So what all the flavors? Arun says yes, good going, perfect. So okay, let's try to understand the flavors of Selenium. Okay, so today from this slide till last slide, what I'm going to do, I'll be taking you through all the flavors of Selenium, what we are going to cover in the coming modules with a small demo and what it is, why it is, what it was, and at the end I'll tell you how to configure Selenium. Fine. So let's start with IDE. So okay, I'll come back to this point afterwards. Yeah. What is IDE? So Selenium in 2004, when Selenium came into picture, okay, it was actually a record and play. It was a proof of concept, POC. So what Jason in ThoughtWorks did, he created a tool called Selenium IDE. So when someone says still, again, it's not a tool, it's a plugin, it's a Firefox plugin. So he came up with a small tool which he integrated in Firefox, which he built it in such a way that it comes as a plugin. So now I'll come back to the same question. Is Selenium a tool? No. But yes, Selenium IDE was a tool which is used to record any test script and used for automation. So in 2004, they came up with a tool called Selenium IDE, and it is just a record and play tool. Okay, but still today it's going to be a very important line. Today also a development is going on Selenium IDE, because Selenium IDE, again and again I'll repeat, this is one of the best record and play automation tool. And if you are new to Selenium, Selenium IDE is a very good friend of yours who can help you in learning. Okay, we'll see in module 5 how it can be so good that he can be a good friend of mine. Correct? So using Selenium IDE, you can do record and play, you can record your test script, create your test script, and Selenium IDE only works with Firefox. Okay, it comes as a Firefox plugin, so it only works with Firefox, not with any other browser. Okay, and the scripts what you have recorded can be exported in any language whichever you want. So the scripts what you have recorded, see again a very important point, very important point, the scripts what you have recorded can be exported in any programming language. So if you are a Java user, you can see internally how Selenium is working in Java. If you are a Python user, you can actually see how Selenium works with Python language. Okay, this is a very helpful line and a very great feature of Selenium IDE. You have an option to record, edit, debug, and an excellent way to learning Selenium script syntax. So if you want to learn how Selenium is working, what's the syntax of it, a very with this you can easily learn. Okay, but we'll discuss this in module 5, because before that we have to understand many things directly. If we try to jump on the implementation part, it's going to be a very difficult task. Okay, so I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, before that I'll show you just a simple flow. Okay, first let me show you how it looks like. So go to Firefox. seleniumhu.org, click enter. Okay, now you can go to download and you can search for IDE. So here IDE is, and the latest version is 2.9.0. It is released on 9th March 2015. So I'll click on 2.9.0. Okay, it is not doing it. Fine, not a problem. So you can go to add-ons and I can say IDE. Sorry, Selenium IDE. Yes. So you can see that Selenium IDE, this version is there. Can you see? So I'll just click on install. And I'll say restart now. So it will restart my browser. Once it gets, okay. One second. I generally used to do it from Linux and this thing. So get add-ons. View toolbar customize. Okay, fine, not a problem. So I think it's not loading it, but that's not a problem. I can show you in the other browsers. So maybe from this system it is not loading. Let me try it once again. Generally, if you'll uh, click on it, it will just download it. Okay, now it is coming. Fine. I don't know the reason why it was not allowing that time. So if you'll click on it, it will say Firefox prevented this site from asking you to install. Say allow. So I have no really not idea why that error came. And Sarita says, hi Sushobit, do you want to install Selenium IDE tool on our browsers? It's just a plugin, Sarita, for Firefox. It comes with Firefox. Okay. So you just have to go to this. Yes, you have to do it. If you want to use Selenium IDE, you have to add that plugin in Firefox. Okay. The answer is yes. Okay, Sarita. Okay. Now you click on install now. So it will download and you just restart your browser. So once it will come, I think it comes under tools. Yes, it is coming under inside tools. So if tool is coming in with, you can go to tools, any browser. It's not that I'm using Mac. You can go to any browser and say click under tools, you will find Selenium IDE. So this is how it looks like. Okay. So this is only the view. I'm just telling you, I'm not going into much detail what it is, how to record and all those things. Just wanted to show you that this is how Selenium IDE looks like. Okay, so you can record your script. You can, this is a record button you have, click to record whatever steps you will record. Like if I'll come here and if I say facebook.com, so the page will, you can see, one second. I don't know what is happening around. Okay, I'll just say admin@edureka.co. So here you can see the steps are getting recorded. Can you see? ID admin@. So this is basically whatever actions you will perform, it will start recording it. Okay, that's what the Selenium IDE is. Okay, so let me close this, don't save, and get back to the PPT. So I can show you that this is how it looks like. Okay, so this screenshot was taken from Windows. So that's how it looks like. You have a record button and it will just record the script. Okay, so what exactly happens? You have you are the person, you are the client who records the script. It goes to Selenium IDE. Like using Selenium IDE, you will record the script. So you can record many test cases. So if you have one test case, it's fine. If you have multiple test cases, then that concept is called test suite. Fine. So collection of test cases is called test suite. So if you want to execute one by one, you can execute it, or if you want to execute together also, you can execute it. So using record and play option, you can record your scripts in Selenium IDE. Okay, so you can, using record and play, you can record your test scripts. So collection of test scripts is called test suite. Now you can save your test suite in either test case wise also you can save it, or complete test suite also you can save it. So it can be saved in HTML form, but when you save, it actually gets saved in form of an HTML. And even you can export whatever scripts you have recorded. It can be saved in any programming language also. It can be, if you are a Java user, you can save it in any programming language if you want. Okay, export it in any programming language. So this slide is clear to everyone. Can I get a quick yes? Anyone is having any doubt? Raghav, Sandeep, Sarita, Lakshmi. Okay. So this was about Selenium IDE. So I'm just going through the introduction part. Okay, that's it. Now what is RC? See, if Selenium IDE was there, I can't put an intelligence in it, right? I can't make it a very perfect tool. I can't put a logic inside it. So what ThoughtWorks engineers did, so they designed another API called Selenium RC. So Selenium RC is basically, if you want to put some if condition, if you want to put some logic inside your scripting, yes, you can do using Selenium IDE. Oh, sorry, Selenium RC. So Selenium RC was basically used so that the automation can be done in a much larger scale. So This is a test tool used to automate web UI in any programming language. So the communication, what happens in RC, it happens through HTTP protocol. Okay, so what happens when using Selenium RC? Let me first discuss this architecture diagram. What happens, this is you who write the RC script in Selenium RC. You want to communicate to the browser. So what happens, your request first goes to some server, and then server will pass the request to the browser, and then if anything is there, everything is fine, or any issue is there, then browser will communicate to the server, then server will communicate to you. So whatever communication was happening, it was happening through HTTP protocol. Fine. So that's what these points says. So there is an RC server which is working as an intermediate between you and your browser, your test script and your browser. He is the intermediate person. Now the server itself, the RC server itself, he is the only one who launches and kills the browser. Because you are just passing your request to the server, right? So when you say that I want to do this testing, the server will only launch the browser and kills the browser. And Selenium RC supports a huge list of programming language, like you can use Java, Ruby, Python, Perl, and whichever language you want. So it supports multiple client libraries. When I say client library, means any programming language. So this is what the architecture of RC server is, that you will be writing your code. In module 2, we'll come to a very big architecture, but this is from a very higher level. That no, this architecture is also very clear, very clear. Okay, that this says that if you can use any programming language, you can use Java, Ruby, Python, Perl, whichever language you want, you can use it. Now you want to, once you have written, you want to do automation with this. So what you need to do, you need to pass your request to the server. Once the server will receive the request, what he'll do, he'll launch the browser, which is like a web application. It's a web server type of. So it will launch first it will launch a Selenium web server. In that it will launch the browser. So web server is the one who actually launches and kills the browser. Once the automation is starting, he'll launch the browser and the application. Once everything is done, he'll close it. So what is happening? You are passing your request in form of any language you want, Java, Ruby, Python, Perl, but browser understands only JavaScript. So that JavaScript is called Selenium core. So what this server will do, whatever request it is getting, it will convert that in form of a JavaScript. And that collections of JavaScript is called Selenium core. So what it will do, it will inject that Selenium core, it will inject that JavaScript inside your browser, and then your actual execution starts. So whatever communication was happening here, it was happening through HTTP proxy. And the server is the only one who is called a launcher, who launches the application and kills the application. Got it? Okay. Audio is not good. I'm hearing some sparkling sound in between when you speak. So now it is clear. Still the issue is there. It has just restarted, or it was there for a long time. Sarita, Raghav. Okay, got worse now. I'll do one thing. I'll just connect and discuss. Okay. Hello, can you hear me now, Raghav? Sarita, now it is clear? Raghav, Sarita, can you hear me? Can anyone please confirm? Can you guys hear me? Okay, can you guys hear me now? It's better now? Okay, fine. It's now clear. Thank you. Okay, so fine. Okay, fine. I think you guys can hear me, right? So let's start. Sorry for that. I don't know. It can be a technical issue, so you can't predict, right? Raghav, Sarita. So these things actually may happen. Okay, so it's better you tell me on time rather than waiting for it. So that's good that you have told me rather than continuing in the same way. So it's clear now, right, Sarita? Yes, perfect. So where I was, so I think I need to repeat it again. Sorry for that. So what I was telling you, that you can use any programming language to do automation. What you need to do, you need to pass the request to the server. So what is the communication? HTTP proxy. Through HTTP proxy, you will do the communication. HTTP protocol, sorry. Through HTTP protocol, you will do the communication with the server. Now this server, what he'll do, he'll convert whatever language you use, it will convert it into a JavaScript. And what that JavaScript is called, it is called Selenium core. So he'll launch the application, he'll inject the JavaScript Selenium core in it, and it will test it. And once everything is done, it will close it. So he is the one who actually launches and kills the browser, and whatever communication is happening, it is happening through HTTP proxy. So you can use any programming language you want, but the server, when it will communicate to the browser, it will communicate with only one language, that is JavaScript. Got it? And why JavaScript? Because the JavaScript works very close, and communication with the JavaScript with the HTML code is very fast. The reason is this. Okay. So this PPT is clear to everyone. Is there anyone who wants me to repeat? Any doubt? Anything? Can I get a quick confirmation for this? Sandeep? Perfect. Lakshmi, let me just clear with Lakshmi. Lakshmi, do you want me to repeat, or it's clear, friend? Yeah. So Lakshmi, I have to take a special take care of yours because somewhere you are new to automation. Okay, so there is a special care for you. Okay, that's the reason I'm just, so don't think that I'm poking you. So yes, I'll be poking you, but at the same time I have to take care of yours also. Okay, so RC is done. So yes, it is when you say that it's a record and play tool, Selenium IDE, then you can't put a logic in it, right? So that means you can't put a logic, you cannot handle any dynamic applications, right? But with RC WebDriver, you can handle dynamic applications. So dynamic application means Ajax based applications. Ajax based application means like you have a web application, so something you will be doing on the page, and without loading the page, you can interact with the web. Like generally you have seen in Facebook, if you go to Facebook, you will click on, you will find someone to check, to talk. Okay, so you can type the name and click on it, and you will get a separate window, but during this whole process your application page was not loading. So that is called Ajax based applications, like dynamic applications. Ideal solution for Selenium IDE users, and it supports these programming languages. Okay, so the only difference between RC and WebDriver is that because of the architecture and because of the change in the architecture, and the down the line 4 years or 3 years, there is a huge features that has been added in WebDriver. Okay, so in module 2 we'll talk about still why we are going with RC, what is the reason. Okay, so and it also supports all the browsers. So we'll see what is the difference, if because everything looks like RC and WebDriver is same, then why we are going with WebDriver. Okay, it's not a very huge change actually, it's just because of few things, and definitely a higher version has come, so people won't do a development on the older version, they'll be doing the development on the newer version. Okay, Lakshmi says thank you Lakshmi. Okay, so this was about RC. Then what is WebDriver? So how many of you remember Anyone knows what is Selenium 1.0? Anyone knows what is Selenium 1.0? Can anyone guess what it is? Perfect, Sarita. RC. So Selenium RC is called Selenium 1.0, and Selenium WebDriver is an automation tool built at Google. So they have just enhanced the architecture. So because of enhancing the architecture, it has become already Selenium RC was fast, but yes, there was somewhere a drawback in the architecture. Because of that, it was not very much reliable, because it was almost, I should say, 9 years backstory, almost 9 years backstory. So it was somewhere not so reliable, but they have enhanced the architecture. Because of that, it has become more reliable. So almost all the features are same, but yes, there is a difference in the architecture of it. And WebDriver also supports all the programming languages, independent of operating systems and browsers as well. You can do automation on any browser. Once they have used the feature of iSelenium 1.0 and WebDriver itself, so this tool is called Selenium 2.0. Now, can anyone guess what can be? Raghav says RC. RC means remote control, friend. This Selenium RC, Selenium remote control. Okay, got it, Raghav? Now Sandeep and Raghav, can you guess? See, I have included all the features of RC with WebDriver. It is called Selenium 2.0. Can anyone guess down the line 2 years or 3 years what can be Selenium 3.0? Especially for Raghav and Sandeep. Question is for all, but in that a small star, because they have just not discussed with me. What can be Selenium 3.0? Not Selenium WebDriver. Grid is already there in this. Grid is already there, Raghav. Sandeep, what can be 3.0 down the line 2 years, 3 years? Can you guess? Okay, let me answer you. It will be mobile automation. Web plus mobile. Got it? Perfect. Oh my God, one of my very good students, he has answered a very perfect answer. 2.0 plus APM. Very correct, Lakshmi. Okay, I really appreciate you for that. Thank you. So Sarita says IDE with WebDriver. No, Sarita, this was with IDE plus RC is Selenium 1.0. RC plus WebDriver is Selenium 2.0, and down the line what I have been, because I used to go through all the blogs and all the papers, white papers of Selenium. So what I have heard is that Selenium 3.0 is going to come in down the line 2 years, 3 years, and it is going to be web plus mobile automation. That is going to boom in the market. Okay. So that's a very good effort, Lakshmi. Okay. So now this diagram is pretty much clear to all. Okay, that you have IDE. So what is 2.0? So 2.0 is Selenium 1.0, RC plus WebDriver is 2.0. Okay, and Selenium Grid was already there in RC also, and in WebDriver also Selenium Grid has there. So in RC it is, the version was 1.0, and in WebDriver the version is 2.0. Okay. And what is WebDriver? Now it is very clear that it is simpler and more concise programming interface. So the programming logic what has been used in RC, if I'll compare with WebDriver, was little bit complicated. So WebDriver is having a simpler and better and more meaningful API. When I say API, that is a jar file that we will be using to design a framework. Okay, it is a 100% object oriented programming. Completely object oriented programming has been used, and it interacts with browser directly. Okay, because the architecture, I'll tell you, this is the architecture we have here. There is no intermediate person between you and your browser, because browsers have started providing native support for Selenium. When I talk about RC, when RC was there, remote control Selenium second flavor, that time native support was not there. So you need someone to communicate to the browser, correct? Can I get a quick yes for this? This is a very important line. And people will ask you why Selenium RC was having a server and why WebDriver is not having a server. The answer is that time the browsers were not providing native support for Selenium because it was not so popular. But now it is open source. It works on JavaScript. So what is happening? The browsers are providing support for Selenium. So if it is that was done by Google actually. So first it came in Chrome and IE. When it came in IE and Chrome, then Firefox also started giving native support, and Opera and even Safari is also providing native support. So here I don't need anyone. So if I don't need anyone, so the chances of getting failure is less. So when I say the chances of getting failure is less means what? If you have put 10,000 test scripts on execution, 10,000 test cases you want to execute, there is a chance that the server may go down. If server may go down, then there is nothing you can do it. Okay, there is no concept of hot backup. Okay, there is no immediate backup when you talk about server. So if this goes down, or if more requests are coming, so the chances of neglecting the resource, or there is a chances of waiting for one script for a long time is more. But here there is no concept of failure. It will always be fast. So we'll see many more reasons, but that's a very big reason of enhancing the architecture. Because of that, it interacts with the browser directly. But for RC you need RC server for interaction. Okay, so other than this, that's not the only reason. Okay, that because see, that's a very valid reason. But now after that, because of the enhancement in the architecture, there were many things which were not possible in that time, few years back when RC was there. Like you cannot upload or download a file. Okay, and interacting with pop-ups were a challenging tasks, and dialog box and many more. Okay, and there was it overcomes the problem of single host origin policy. So have you guys heard about what is single host origin policy? Anyone knows about what is single host origin policy? Sarita, Raghav, Lakshmi, Arun? Anyone has heard about what is single host origin policy? Same origin? Yes, but can you be a little bit more descriptive? Okay, fine. No, I'm not aware of it. Fine, Sandeep. Okay. So yes, Sarita, somewhere you are correct, but not the very correct answer. Okay, when you say same origin, but a good try. So single host origin policy means what? That in web, the RC, the problem was that, okay, not only in RC, in IDE also, that if you are doing testing on Facebook, you can't go to Amazon.com. If you are doing your interaction, if you are interacting with one application, you cannot interact with other application. The reason is that at a time you can work on one domain. Okay, when I say at a time you can work on one domain means what? Let me tell you. See, you can have, this is one domain. Okay, one second, I'll tell you what is domain also. Okay, these are two domains. So when I say domain, facebook.com and amazon.coms are two domains, right? Sandeep says no, I'm not. Okay, fine. Lakshmi says JavaScript issue related. Lakshmi says for single host origin policy, JavaScript related issue. Yes, till certain extent. I'll say 10% of it, but a very good try, Lakshmi. Raghav says single system from host side. Again, I'll say 20 to 30% correct. Very good attempts, very good try, friends. So Sarita says same origin. Lakshmi says JavaScript related issue, single system from host side. All these are correct answer, but not so accurate that can explain you what exactly the issue is. Okay, so let me tell you. So domain means what? Host means what? So let me write it down here first. We are discussing single host origin policy. Actually, this is a security provided by Microsoft, and the people who came up with uh, HTTP protocol, HTTP hypertext transfer protocol, and it was done by Microsoft. The reason is that how it is a security, please try to understand. If you are doing a payment in, if you're doing your payment in HDFC, okay, and there is one more person in the other tab, he is trying to insert a JavaScript in it to get your credentials out. He can read your credentials, right? You are doing everything online. You are doing payment on some online, you are doing your payment. So someone can read your credentials by injecting the JavaScript, correct? So using single host origin policy, it's a standard rule. No one can, if you're doing one process, the other domain cannot interact with you. So if you are doing something on Facebook, then someone from Amazon cannot come in between you. Correct? Got my point? So that is called single host origin policy. So at a time, you can work on one domain, not on two different domains because of the security reason. But Selenium WebDriver has overcome this issue in a different way. Along with that, it provides you a security. Got it? Can I get a quick yes for this? So at a time, you cannot work on two domains in Selenium RC, but in Selenium WebDriver you can do. So you can execute few things on Facebook, you can go to Amazon, execute it, then you can come back to Facebook again. But this was not possible in RC. Sandeep says thanks for clarifying. Thanks, Sandeep. And there are many things also. So this was somewhat related to theoretical, right? This was somewhat related to theoretical, but tomorrow when I'll show you a demo, actually you will see that we cannot do achieve single host origin policy because the architecture itself is like this way. Because when RC came, that time when Selenium RC, that is remote control, when RC came, they followed browser security policy to design their flow or architecture. Correct? Got my point? When Selenium WebDriver came, they considered this issue and resolved it. That is Google. Okay? Got my point? Thanks, Sandeep. So can I get a quick yes for this? Arun? Sarita? Lakshmi? Clear? Quickly, friends. Don't wait for, don't think that someone else. See, it's one-on-one discussion. Okay, it's one-on-one discussion. Don't think that I'm asking with a specific person. Okay, so things has to be cleared from every person's end. Okay, and when I'm asking you something, please reply like Arun. Can you please confirm? See, I have to specifically take the name and do it. Okay, so it's one-on-one discussion going on. So it's not that a huge audience is there. So it has to be an interactive class, not a very silent class that I am speaking and you're not saying anything. Fine. So please ask the more questions. So I'll say one thing, that I'll say that the question what you have asked so far, only one or two people have asked very few questions, not all. So I'll always encourage you guys, the more questions you will ask, the more takeaway from the course you can get, the more learning will be there. Okay. So WebDriver, fine. So that's single host origin policy limitations. And tomorrow when we'll see a demo, we'll actually see that why it is why we are interacting with one domain. Okay. So what are the things we can do? We can achieve cross-browser testing. It supports multiple programming languages and support for different operating systems. And we can design keyword driven, data driven, and hybrid framework. So in module 4, we'll see how to design a framework. And this is going to be a very interesting module, and it supports parallel testing. Okay, multiple browser in same time you can do. So when I say parallel testing, that means even you can achieve parallel execution, but the advantage is that parallelly you can do execution on multiple browsers also. Okay, now comes Selenium Grid. So Selenium Grid is basically a master slave architecture. Like there is a concept, the master is called hub and the slaves are called nodes. So with the help of in Selenium Grid, you can achieve a remote execution. So let me show you this diagram. It says that he is the master and these are the slaves. So please note the important points what I'm going to say. So your master can be any operating system. Execution can be done on any operating system. So that means it is platform independent, and you can do the execution remote. Like you have a dedicated machine on this, the request will come. It's the server responsibility, it's the master responsibility to redirect the request. Okay, so he'll redirect it to whichever system he wants, and the execution is definitely going to be fast. We can achieve browser independence here also. You can use any programming language to do the execution, and definitely will achieve the parallel execution because that's what the Selenium Grid is. Okay, Sarita says, okay, hi Sushobit, which add-in to install? I see Ruby formatters. You have to take, okay, don't go to, Sarita, don't go to add-ons, go to Selenium website and from there you directly add it. Okay, Sarita? Okay, so I'll come back to your question. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Can we maintain updated version of code in SVN? Yes, you can follow. Have you guys have you heard about Raghav Maven? The answer is yes, and the solution is Maven. Okay, so if you'll use Maven, you can maintain the upgraded versions of the codes also. Okay, Raghav? Okay, and fine. So I'll come back to you, Sarita. Okay, let me just finish up this. I'll come back to how to add a plugin. Okay, so that's what happens in Selenium Grid. You write your code, you pass the request to the hub, the master. He'll decide to which machine it has to pass, because all these machines have to register to the master, the hub. Have you guys seen anytime you if you guys learned networking concept, you have a router and you have many you have a hub and you have many routers connected to it. In like in your local area also you will find an internet network provider is there. So in your area you have one network provider and you need to get a connection first to those networks. So if you have taken a connection, whatever request, whatever bandwidth comes to the hub, it just redirects the, depending upon your connection, it redirects the bandwidth. Fine, so it will just redirect the bandwidth to as per your use. So just to understand the architecture, the flow, that same thing is there. You have dedicated machines, you can register those machines to the master. If any request is coming to the hub, the master, he'll redirect it to the machines, those machines which are registered to it. Fine, and once everything is done, the request will get, the developer will get the feedback. If new requests are coming, it will go to the hub. Now it's the hub intelligence. What was your task? Your task is to just prepare a script. You are here somewhere sitting, you just send it to the server. You need to set up an environment, that is also important. When the request comes, now it's the intelligence of the server to decide where to send, which machine to send, and what to do. You don't have to worry about it because you have a Firefox. Let's assume that this is a Linux system with Firefox and Chrome, but you are sending a request for IE. So server will decide which system is having an IE, and if you have one, and it will redirect it. Now again, one more scenario. It is sending to a system, you have only one system or three systems, none of the systems have IE. So, and you have sent a request that you want to do on IE. So server will respond to the developer saying that IE is not there. Got the flow? Can I get a quick yes for this quickly from everyone? Quickly, quickly. No, don't wait. Okay, perfect. So now comes the very important point. What's the prerequisite to knowledge need to start with Selenium? Okay, so the prerequisite thing is that you should know the basic programming skills and you should have object-oriented programming concept. Now thing is that will I be covering all these things, programming skills in the course? The answer is yes. I'll be telling you all the possible ways how to create a project, how to use Selenium API, how to call it, everything end to end I'll tell you. But before that also, everything cannot be everything I cannot tell you, right? See, whatever things are there in the course, I'll be telling you. But I don't want you to stick to only those things which are used to Selenium. You should know other than all the things as well, right? That makes sense. See, if it comes to teaching you what all the things are required with Selenium, what all the things I do, definitely that I'll be telling you, but I want you to be expert in uh, all the possible ways. So what language I'll be using? I'll be using Java. Why? The reason is that there is a support, it is one of the most popular language used across, and because of the wide range of support for third-party APIs and securely image recognition tool what we are going to use, that is also uh, used in built in Java. So we'll be going with Java, and Java is the most popular and also a very high language, very simple language, too easy to understand and move forward. So now again the question comes, do we need to be an expert in Java? No, the answer is no. You should know only the basic concepts of Java, how to create a class, how to create a project, what is variables, how to print something in console, that's it. What is the logic, what is a package, all those things. Correct? Now again the next question comes, from where should we get all this information? The answer is you go to edureka site. So now what is your task? In the coming weekend, you have to go through few recordings. Okay, that is a free course provided by edureka. So before I start and tell you all those things, I want you to revise all those things before only. Okay, so there is a Java Essentials for testing with Selenium WebDriver. If you come here, you will find few recordings and presentations, code snippets, modules, everything is there. Okay, so to start Selenium and to be an expert in Selenium using Java, please go through this Java Essentials for testing with Selenium WebDriver. There are 4 recordings. Please go through all the recordings and complete it in the coming week. So if there is a delay you are doing, see, whatever things I'll tell you, you will go with the flow. That is accepted, but don't go. Always think out of the box. Try to complete the things before only. So if you have already completed this Java Essentials, when I'll be telling you, it is not going to be a new thing for you because you already know all those things. That makes sense, right? In the LMS, we can see the class recordings for understanding. I have started learning it. In the LMS, we can see the class record. Oh, great, Sandeep. Perfect. Very good. At the same time, if you can go through Java Essentials also, it is very also good. Okay. Lakshmi says, what kind of application do we use Grid? Can you please give an example? Lakshmi, okay, for Grid, I'll tell you. See, Grid is not basically used for any specific application. Grid is used to achieve parallel execution and remote execution. So when we are using Grid, if you want to do something on your system, you want a dedicated machine for remote execution, so you can have a dedicated machine for execution. Okay, so whenever you want to do any execution, you can do your execution on that machine. That is one reason. Second reason is that if you have 4 machines for automation, if the client is huge and they want to do automation on a regular basis, so it's better to have a dedicated machine. So if I'll give you a very basic example. You have 100 test scripts, okay? So if you have one machine, each test script takes 1 minute. So if you'll complete 100 test scripts, it's going to take 100 minutes to complete. But same thing if I'll do it in four machines at the same time, your number of execution means it will reduce. Okay, means your task gets splitted in four machines. So in how many times it's going to complete? It's going to complete it in 25 minutes, correct? Fine, Lakshmi, got it? So just to split the task, just to achieve parallel execution, just to do remote execution, we use Selenium Grid. Fine, Lakshmi, I think I've answered a question. And one more thing I'll tell you, Lakshmi. Okay, the best, again there is one add-on. Even if you have four systems, okay, let me tell you in this way. Okay, I'll draw a diagram. This is four machines. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have four machines. So before I was having only, I have 100 test case. Okay, so when I have one machine, it's going to take 100 minutes with one machine, right? But if I have four machines, I'll complete it in 25 minutes. Even there is a concept called at the same time in this machine, you can launch 5 browsers. Got it? 5 browsers. So at a time, 5 browsers, on 5 browsers execution is happening in this machine, 5 browser is happening in this browser, 5 in this browser, 5. You can divide this by 5. So you can do it in 5 minutes. Because this is a very rare case people go with it, but that's what the reality is. See, when I say four machines, one browser, one browser, one browser, one browser, right? But at the same time, 5 browsers can be launched. So 5 browsers on this, and this. Got it, Lakshmi? And to all? Okay. Uh, 1 second for all the kind, okay. In LMS, we can see the class recordings for understand. Okay, fine. Sarita says, we will get the recording video for today's class. Yes, you will get it. So inside module 1, it will be uploaded. Okay, Sarita? Can you please confirm? Okay, so let me go back quickly. I think there is one important thing that we need to cover is configuration of Selenium. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll give you a break for 5 minutes. Okay, and then last 15 minutes we'll cover up. I think that's the correct way to go it, because if I'll tell you now, it's going to be a hodgepodge for everything. Okay, so let's take a break for 5 minutes and in last 15 minutes I'll do it. That makes sense, correct? So if you get recordings, that doesn't mean that you will cover up afterwards. So it's better we'll do it in last 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll continue in we'll meet after 5 minutes. Okay, friends, bye bye. Hello friends, I'm back. Can I get a quick hi from everyone? Fine, thanks Raghav. So okay, so what we are going to do now, okay, we are going to configure Selenium. Fine, so I'm going to download Selenium API and I'll create a project and I'll just add to it and check whether Selenium is working fine or not. That's what I'm going to do. For you guys, once I'll show you the complete demo, what you need to do, you can go through the recording to see what I am doing. And you can, if you're a Mac user, you can download the Mac document or Windows document to installation guide for Selenium on Windows. Okay, so you need to download download it from your LMS. It is inside installation guide testing with Selenium. You download it and then you can configure it. And if you want to use, and at the same time you refer the recordings as well if you have any doubt. Fine. So first what you need to do, I'll come back to this PPT. So first you download Eclipse. Okay, once you will download Eclipse, all these steps are there in this step, right? In this document, how to download an Eclipse. So once you will download an Eclipse, just click on this icon and you will get this window called workspace. So what is this workspace? This is a location where you are going to create a project. Okay, so you just give the path of your project and say okay. Okay, once your Eclipse will open, this welcome window will come. You can close this and okay, in the right side you just make sure that Java is there. See, if Java is not there, if you want to make Java, you can click on this link. Many things will come here. This is called perspective. So we want to work in Java perspective. Okay, so Java is already selected for me, but once again I'll show you. You can select Java and say okay. Now to create a project, you can go to file, say new, file new, and select Java project. Okay, I'll just revise it. Okay, don't worry. I'll say Java project and I'll give the project name as my first Selenium project. Once you have selected it, it will automatically it will select Java JRE. Okay, JRE should also be present. So for JRE installation, everything is there in the this document. How to install JRE also. Okay, so Eclipse and JRE, both things are there in this document, Windows. So if I'll click on it, let me show you. I think it's the best way to show you quickly. Just an overview I can give you how it looks like. See, Selenium IDE installation. So first it will tell you all the prerequisite, how to install JDK, how to download Eclipse, any troubleshooting, set up Eclipse, working with jars, and create a project. So I'll just keep scrolling. So first you can check which version of the operating system you have. Okay, then what's the service pack is. Then you can download JRE and JDK. So you can go to Oracle, links are there. You can go to Oracle website and download it for 60-bit, 64-bit or 34-bit. Then you can install it and all the next you need to do. Once it is done, you can set the environment path. So all these steps are there. You don't have to worry. Then the steps to download Eclipse. You can download an Eclipse, and once Eclipse is done, it will give you a link. Okay, like Eclipse is downloaded. Once it is done, then you will get a folder called Eclipse. You just double click on it, you will get an icon, and you just have to send to desktop or whatever you want to do. Just click on it and you will get a workspace. So all the steps are there. You just go through it. Okay, all are very easy. Installing a Java, JRE and JDK and Eclipse is very easy. Once this is done, now I'll tell you what to do. Create a project, say finish. So if JRE is there, it will automatically select it. Click on finish. Your project, Java project will be created. That's it. So in this Java project, you don't have anything. So to add the Selenium API, what you need to do, you have to go to seleniumhq.org. Go to downloads. And here you will find the list of libraries, client libraries. So I want to work with Java. So you can click on Java and it will download the library. So if I'll download it, the size is big. Okay, so I've already downloaded. So I'll just go to that location. I'm just copying this. I'll copy this lib folder complete. Okay. Tomorrow I'll show you. No need to worry. Okay. So I'll just put it here. So my lib folder is here. Inside this lib, you can see all the Selenium APIs are there. Can you see? So from where you will get this API, you need to go here and click on download. So once you click on download, see it has started downloading it. So, but I don't want to download it again. So I'll just see Selenium folder is down coming, right? So let it download. If just I can show you that how it looks like, but what you will do once it gets downloaded, you can copy it in your project. So your Selenium API is there in your project. So, but if it is there, how should I link with my project? So what you need to do, you just right click on it, say build path and configure build path. Okay. Right click on your project, say build path and say configure build path. Okay. Click on configure build path, you will get a libraries here. So what I'll do, I'll create a user library. So I'll say add library, click user library, next, give some name called lib, say okay. So this is just a library, but where all these inside this, I don't have anything, right? So I'll say add jars, and from this project only I'll add all the libraries. Whatever things you have seen, I'll add all the libraries. Except this one, change log. So I'll say okay. So all the libraries are added, I'll say okay. Click on finish. So within this library, I have all the Selenium libraries. Got it? Say okay. Now you will see a new link has been created here. Lib. This is the name what I gave, right? So in this, all the APIs have come. Fine. Now I'll create a simple package called com.edureka to check my, and in this I'll create a simple Java class. So I'll say class and I'll say my first class and select this button public static void main, that is the main method, and say finish. So you'll get some template here. So here I'll write some Selenium code to check my Selenium is working fine or not. So I'll write a code Webdriver driver. You don't have to understand this, okay? But one second, Firefox. Right now, okay. So I'll just write a code, okay? I'm just not telling you many things here. I'm just writing a code. So I'm getting some error here, right? So I'll just hover and import the package and I'll say driver dot quit. So I'm just want to close it for Firefox driver. Right? So I'm just launching a Firefox driver in that facebook.com and quitting it just to check whether my configuration is done fine or not. So I'll just run this code to check whether it is launching the Firefox or not, and in that it is launching facebook.com or not. That's it. That's the only one simple step to check whether everything is working fine or not. So yes, here I can see that it is launching the browser and configuring it. So far it has been very easy step. Okay, you can go through the recordings and check, and the PPT as well. But let me show you once again with the presentation, and then I'll come back if you guys have any question. So you can launch an Eclipse, go to File, New Java Project, then give the project name as whatever you want, Selenium project, and click on Finish. Before you click on Finish, just notice that Java SE some JRE is selected or not. By default, it will select it from your system. So before you start, you should have JRE installed in your system. Then you can create a folder lib, and you can just say finish. Just right click on the project, say lib, and say finish. So once you say finish, you can see that a folder will be created here called lib. I just copied it, right? I just copied it, but how to create it, just right click, say, and say folder. So you can give the folder name as lib here. For me, it is already here. Once the folder gets created, you can copy the downloaded APIs. So where this API is, let me show you. I have just now downloaded, right? So this is Selenium 2.46, the latest one. Okay, so you can download it, and you can see libs, all the libraries, and these two files. I have copied it and put it there. You can see these two files and libs. So you can copy these libraries and put it here, and then right click. Then you need to add the jar files to your project. So what this slide is about, yes, copy, you can download it from here also. It gives you the link of the Selenium API. Then right click on it, say build path, then configure, right click on project, say build path, configure build path, then click on the libraries tab. The one way I showed you with add libraries, right? There is other way also. You can directly click add jars. And once you click on add jars, you will get this window. Within your project, you have all the jar files, correct? You can select all the jar files, say OK. Once you click on OK, you will get all the jar files here. And then you can say OK. Once your project is built completely, you can create a package, then create a class, select this box, public static void main, and click on finish. You will get this view here. You can write the part of the code what I have shown you. Like here you need to write a code to check whether Selenium is properly configured or not. So add code in this section. Fine. So that's what I showed you for the demo of Facebook application. And what part of the code you need to do? You need to add this part of the code. Okay. So I'm copying this code, complete code, this part of the thing. Okay, only this part I'll copy, and I'll put it in the chat window. Send to all. So you guys can save this and try it. So what all the things we did, we created a project, we downloaded the Selenium API from the Selenium download. Then we need to copy these jar files inside a folder called lib. Then you build your jar project and add this code to test it is working fine or not. Fine. Before you leave the session, there is an option called save chat log. So if you go to your window, okay, if you go to file, in your Citrix tool, you will get an option to save the chat logs. Can you go to file and do save chat log? Can everyone see? Go to file and save chat logs. Sarita, Sandeep, Raghav, can you guys please confirm? Lakshmi? It's question log. Yes, done. Yeah, chat log or question log, whatever it is. Because for me, the view is different. For you, it will be other different. So you can save the daily, whatever things we are discussing in class, you can save it. Okay. And from tomorrow onwards, I'll share the code also with you. Whatever code we are discussing in the class. Question log, right? Correct? So far the configuration is fine. So what you need to do, what's your task? You have to configure your Selenium by for the tomorrow class, and in the weekday you have to revise your Java essentials. Okay. So how many of you will do it? Complete the configuration of Selenium and Java essentials. Java Essentials is for weekdays, and configuring Selenium is for tomorrow's class. See, just 15 minutes it takes to configure it. That's it. Okay, 15 to half an hour. That's it. Download an Eclipse, download JRE. That's it. Okay. So how many of you will do it? Sarita, Arun, Lakshmi, Raghav, Sandeep. No one? None of you will do it? Yes. Okay. Okay, fine. So yes, okay, friends, you will get, yes, recordings you will get it in your modules. Okay, recordings you will get it inside your modules. So once within, I think within few hours, your today's recording will be uploaded here. Okay. Thanks, Sandeep. Thanks, Lakshmi. Perfect. Configuration and all those things. So anyone is having any doubt? Anyone wants to ask any question? So before you leave the session, friend, today, by that time, please save the question log. Okay. So anyone wants to have any discussion? Lakshmi, Sarita, Sandeep, before we leave the session, anyone is having any confusion, doubt in his or her mind? So can you guys please give a hi before we leave the session? So that's all for today, friends. Module 1 is completed, and tomorrow we'll start with module 2. Selenium RC, and then we'll see locator techniques, how to interact with web elements. Okay, fine. So thank you, friends. It was really nice interacting with you. And there is one more important step. Next class agenda is there. Like Sandeep was saying that he was going through the recordings. So yeah, that's a very good attempt to understand what is there in the class, what we are going to discuss. So please go through the module to PPT if you get time, and just try to read out these blocks if you are getting some time. Okay. Okay, these two links also. And once the session gets completed, there is a process that we follow. There is a survey, there is a feedback. Okay, so this is a day one. Okay, so, and to all, please put up your feedback. I need a feedback from everyone that how far the session was. Is it how it was helpful for you or not, and what is your expectation from the class? Once again, I'll say maybe in the class you didn't put up properly, so you have sufficient time, so it's just going to take 2 minutes. Please put up your feedback, how the session was and everything, and what's again I'll repeat, what's your expectation, so that I can understand more. Okay, you guys, fine. So that's all for today, friends. Bye bye, have a great day, and enjoy. Okay, so a very good night to all my Indian friends, and a very good day to all my US and UK friends. Bye bye, friends. Have a great day.